welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the another month, another edition of the Fire Cup number 9 group stage. I'm of course SI VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different here. Usually we're covering this event live. Shout out to Mindo VK, of course. Mindo VK, he has been hosting and organizing this event on a monthly basis for the past 9 months, but unfortunately at the time we were covering the HSL. We were casting the Hispanic StarCraft League playoffs live. Day 1 and Day 2, we were covering those events live. Because of that, we missed out on Day 1 and Day 2 of the Fire Cup. We weren't able to cover both at the same time. We have mentioned before that right now our schedule is, we're overbooked in a way where we have all this casting to do. We cast twice a day, every single day, and we still can't cast everything, but there's just so much StarCraft going on. Like that. There's so much StarCraft going on. So unfortunately we missed out on covering the Fire Cup live at the time as we were casting HSL, but now we're back to catch up on the replays of said Fire Cup. So here we go. We are back. For those who are curious, this is a monthly tournament. Again, it is organized by Mindo VK. Mindo VK for quite some time was mainly a player, mainly a competitor, but in recent months he has turned from that into more of a content creator, a caster as well, streamer. Still does compete, still does of course practice and competes, don't get me wrong, but he also does mix in casting and running tournaments as well. And of course this is kind of his event. Mindo VK's event, I should say, has been quite successful here, bringing together the best players in the CIS region, and we are here to catch up on said group stage. When it comes to the playoffs, we'll be catching up on that in a couple of days, towards the end of the week. Again, our schedule's quite full here, and this is our first/second broadcast of the day. We were live earlier this morning with the Circuito Brasileiro, with the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, and likewise we're going to be live with that as well. That is going to be in around 8 hours, and around 8 hours. There we go. In 8 hours time we're going to be live with day 2 of the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. Ideally we're able to wrap this up. I'm able to get a couple of hours of rest, a couple of hours sleep, and then bam, we'll be back again 8 hours from this moment with our second cast of the day with the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit day 2. Oh boy. So back to back non-stop StarCraft. Fabulous, papi, let's go. And we have our first series. We have our first matchup of the night. I say first matchup, exclamation, or unless we don't have that bracket command yet. But switching our scenes over, let's catch up on the matches ahead of us here. Now this is the group stage, and as a result we have a plethora of matches available to us here. We have 6 best of 3s, and we will be starting the night off with Strange versus Nikich. Here we go. Again, the playoff bracket will be held later in a couple of days towards the end of the week, but until then we have a plethora of matches. We're going to be jumping into our first ZVP. Let's go. Let us go. As game 1 is going to be on Amygdala. Also, hope you all welcome everyone. Hope you're all having a great time in the chat. Baby guy, good to see you all. Good to see you. So Asher bro, redeeming the Bexy map in the chat. I see Psycons, Easy Feel as well. Talimo. No replay. Oh, my apologies. I will fix that. Un momento, papi. Un momento. Save update. And this morning in the bottom right corner of Amygdala we have our red Zerg player, from land of Belarus, representing Alien Esports. It is Nikich. And spawning in the top right hand corner we have the blue Protoss player, himself. He's a little bit different, he's a little bit strange. No, here we go. Strange, of course, he's the reigning champion. He's the reigning champion of Fire Cup number 8. Strange, he had a dominant showing, a dominant result. It was insane to see him just cut a path through players like Wayne, like Young Yakov, Shameless, Gigi Machine. No one could stand a candle to him. I want to say that Strange, he maybe lost a couple of maps last month. I'm gonna have to double check that actually, but I do recall Strange having a dominant performance, especially with Glaive Adepts. I do recall the finals. I think Strange, like almost every game he went Glaives in some, no, every game he went Glaives in some way, shape or form, different variations of Glaive Adepts, and he adapted the hell out of Wayne. It was It was not even close. It was no. It was definitely very relatable. It was a very relatable finals, I will say that, but at the same time very smooth as well. Oh no. And yes, double checking. So Strange, he lost one game in the playoffs last month. One game, and that was one game in the finals against Wayne. So Wayne, he was able to take one game. Outside of that, in the entirety of the playoff bracket, Strange, he just 2-0'd and 3-0'd his entire way through it. It was insane to see the dominance of Strange. And again, Strange, he is a strong player in his own right. We did feature him last year and the year before that in WTL, right? In WTL, he was on Mystery Gaming. Strange, he was always a player that can threaten some of the bigger names out there, 100%. And he's also a player that does often come up with his own builds. He comes up with his own builds. He does play his own style. At times, maybe not even the most efficient of play styles, but very aggressive nonetheless. That's what he's known for. And hey, welcome to another PvZ. I mean, I do expect to see Glaves at some point in the series, maybe even every game again. Oh no. let's go, man. Let's go. I believe Strange did have a bit of a rockier, no, never mind. I was gonna say that he had a rocky performance in the group stage, but no, Strange, he also last month did go 6-0 as well. So like he had it was crazy. Here we go. For now, we do have very early Evo chamber. So Hatchet got split into a third base by Nikich, going for an early Evo chamber. Now Nikich is also known for his mid-game play. He's known for at times some more aggressive styles and more aggressive builds. With this early Evo chamber, this should be for early plus on melee into early Ling aggression. Because this is so early though, typically this is for Ling into Hydra play, but we'll keep an eye on Nikich to see how hard he commits, because he does pull out of gas. So he pulls out of gas really early +1. I'm leaning towards a Ling flood, but we'll keep an eye on our Zerg player. At the same time, going to be a Void Ray opener out of Strange, Void Ray to hunt down the Overlords and to keep Nikich in the dark. Oh boy. Here we go. As the Void Ray has arrived. No surprise here, Twilight Council before Nexus. This tells us that most likely this is going to be a Glaive Adept follow-up. Now again, this is not the earliest of Glaive Adept builds. This does hit a little bit later, but at the same time, if Nikich skips Roaches, well, then he's going to be in trouble. Now, plus on melee is going to help with this. It does mean that the Ling's going to be a little bit more effective when it comes to surrounding and killing Adepts. That is true. And I want to believe that we're going to have a plethora of Lings early on because of plus one melee. If not, again, Nikich is going to be he's going to be in trouble here. Now, you can defend against Glaive Adepts without Roaches with a Baneling Nest, right? If we see a safety Baneling Nest, then we're going to be okay. If we don't see a safety Baneling Nest, I'm very concerned for Nikich. Oh boy. As here we go. Here come the Glaives, here come the Gateways. Now, the way this build works is that because there's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism, so there's no way to reinforce across the map. We're going to be warping in wave after wave of Adepts back at home, banking up Adepts first, and then pushing out across the map. And thankfully, at 4:30, we do have a Roach Warren. So we do have a safety Roach Warren out of Nikich. Nikich, he's not fully aware what's going on. He hasn't seen anything in the main base, not yet. His scout was denied. We do have 4 Adepts shading in. This is standard. This is not a sign of Glaive Adepts. This is just regular Adept aggression. This is normal so far. Everything looking as it should. Lings are being shut down, and they're making their way into the mineral line. Meanwhile, 20 Lings in production. Yeah, Lings, they will shut this down. Adepts, they shade into the main, and they will focus on even more drones. So far, just one though. Just one drone. There's a recall saving to Adepts just barely. Does save 2. And again, we should be reinforcing. Now, because only one drone went down, this means that Nikich doesn't have to re-drone, thankfully, so he can saturate his bases and then focus on his Roach production freely. Roach Warren is done. We have Lair on the way. Gases are now being taken. We have Lings fanning out across the map. And the Lings, if they see all these Adepts, that will be a sign, that will be a tell. And they will. There we go. Big sign, big tell, big scout here for Nikich. Immediately, Roach production has begun. He sees there are more Adepts than there should be. And now Nikich is getting ready back at home. He's getting ready. He can start to wall off his natural if need be. He's got 6 Roaches on the way. Adepts are moving in. And Nikich, thankfully, he has time to respond. Adepts, they shed into the mineral line. Alas, Lings are keeping up. Roach is in position as well. Clutch Transfuse keeping the Roach alive. Adepts, they still trade relatively well against the Lings at least. The Lings, they all just melt. Yeah, Lings go down. Roach is going to be falling. We cancel the shade, focusing down at the Roaches. They're getting up to 2 Roach kills. Taking down 2. Now shading past. Does shade past. Catching out. Oh, trying to catch up more Queens. Still no major damage, just trading against Lings. But that's still a lot of adepts, and now they finally get some damage down. There we go, 4 or 5 drone kills here at the mineral line. And we're just camping the third base, going for the expansion. Queens, there is one transfuse. Oh, going for the roaches instead. There's a transfuse. Keep the roaches alive. Yeah, one more transfuse available as well. At the same time, Lings, they do get across the map. 5 probes, 6 probes. Oh my god, not bad. They got a couple workers, but at the same time, we finally shade into the natural. It commits. Strange, he commits in. Getting 8 drone kills so far, shading in towards the main. Does commit. Late reaction by Nikich, 12, 13. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Back at home, Strange, he defends, and across the map, he's wreaking havoc. He's still getting more damage done. Adepts once again shading into the natural. Yeah, they do shade in. Boys being pulled. 16. Oh, good. 16 drone kills. And yes, Nikich, he had the tool to defend. I mean, he has all these roaches. He does defend, but at a cost. He was unable to keep up with the shades. He was eventually torn apart. It took a while. It took a while. For the most part, Nikich, he was defending quite well. He was defending nicely. And then the ball started rolling, right? Then it started snowballing out of control. And Strange, he got out of hand. Now Strange has a massive economic lead. 69. Nice. 69 probes against how many? Against 35 drones. Nikich is all in. Nikich, he's completely all in at this point. What do we see? Overlord speed. Overlord speed is on the way. This is a sign of drop lords of a German taxi. Drop lords are on the way, of course. Lings are flooding out. Queen's going to be joining this army as well. And it's all or nothing for Nikich. Either he ends the game or he dies trying. Back at home, Strange, he has a wall of sentries. He's ready with the force fields. Speaking of, he does lock down the army. Yeah, very nice force fields. Locking him down. Delaying the push, shield batteries are finishing, and the Void Ray, yeah, can freely attack, can freely just go to town. Can freely move in. Likewise, Biles, they focus down some of the force fields. But last these Mauls are putting in so much damage to the back line. Once again, nice force fields, just delaying some of the Ravagers, so many of them just not doing any damage. Not a part of the main fight. That is Nartos' pylon, but the Warpin does complete, and now we're up to another Immortal, and we defend. Yeah, Strange, he defends, he shuts us down. He'll move in and getting on top of the roaches, the Ravagers, the Queens. They take down the Void Ray at least. But now we can micro. Now we can juggle. We can juggle the Immortals. And there's nothing left. There's nothing left here. Nikich, GG. Strange, he will defend. He will survive. He will take game number 1. GG, well played. Again, Strange, he's known for his aggression, he's known for his glaive at play, and we saw that even though Nikich, he had a good start, he was able to preserve his drones, he was able to have his roach warren on time, build up his roaches as well, he was minimizing losses. And then suddenly, if you remember, the moment when everything just turned on its head was when he went for a Ling run-by. You could argue that maybe he distracted himself, but there was like a Ling run-by at the third base, and as Strange was defending, he did shade into the natural, and Nikich was late to react, late to respond, late to pull away, and as a result, he started losing far too much. He lost everything. GG. GG, well played. With that, Strange does take a lead, and now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2, and we'll see if Nikich can bounce back. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of ley lines, we have our red Zerg player from the land of Belarus representing Alien Esports, his new team down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Nikich. Nika. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player leading the series 1-0. It is Strange. The reigning champion here of Firegrow Cup number 8. We'll see if he can once again maintain his crown here in Firegrow Cup number 9. We're still in the group stage, so still a ways away. But he is the, I would say, probably number 1 seed of the tournament. We'll see if he can be stopped. For now, we do have Nikich building up. Hatchcast Pool looks like a standard opener out of our Zerg player. Now the question from Strange is not will he adapt, but how will he adapt, Pappy? That's the real question. Oh boy. Don't know if I'm ready for the answer to that, actually. That I'm not so sure about. So now we are moving out. We do have a Strange dipping in, getting full eyes on the main. Just making sure that there's no early pull, there's no early gases, no early shenanigans out of our Zerg player. Strange back at home, settling in. Once again, I mean, there are different ways to go into Glaive Adept. So you can, like just like last game, we could go Stargate, then into a Twilight Council. We could see Twilight Council opener into like 3-gate Glaives, into a fast third base. We can come in into 4-gate Glaives. We can turn this into a 2-base all-in and go into 6-gate Glaives like that. There's you can mix and match for sure. Oh, speaking of, there it is, Stargate opener out of Strange. So far, it looks like the same opener as the last game. Stargate initially, and something that I do really enjoy here, or something that I do favor from the side of Protoss, is if game 1 you're successful and you did open Void Ray and you were able to actually high tech and be unorthodox, in game 2 to once again open Void Ray and to keep the Zerg player in the dark, to keep them guessing as to what's going on, to again deny vision and potentially go into Glaives again, or even play standard. You can still play standard out of a Void Ray opener. You don't have to high tech, but you can, and you can play some mind games with your opponents. So we'll see if Strange does go into something like Void Rays, or if he goes for an Oracle opener instead. Meanwhile, very early Bane nest out of Nikich. Oh my god, setting up for a Bane bust. He does not pull out of gas. He's staying in. He does pull in. So gas is being mined. This time no Evo Chamber. Nikich, it's time to be the aggressor. It's time to turn the tables on Strange. So the tables are being turned. Lings are amassing already. Nikich, he cuts workers at 21. So 21 drones, that's all there is. That's all he has. And he's flooding across the map. Now, Bane busting is difficult in this matchup, but you see what I see? An exposed pylon. A very exposed pylon here for Strange. So that's going to be the target here for the Bane bust. Again, if this setup was a little bit more secure, and if there was no exposed pylon, then again, it would be difficult to pull this off. But it'll go 5 Banelings on the way. It is going to be a Void Ray opener hunting down the Overlord. Overlord is going to go down. Now there are 2 pylons, so everything will stay powered at the natural. But what's important is that once the wall goes down, then we just flood in. We can just flood in. Lings, they poke on forward. Banelings, they wall in towards the Adept. We're trying to re-wall up. Banelings, they crash on in, and the wall is broken. Yeah, the wall has been broken. Lings, they flood on forward. They get us around on the first Adept. The other Adept did fall, going for the pylon, and alas, is all the production here for Strange. He has more gateways. No, there's no gateways on the way. He's supply blocked. Oh no! Strange is supply block. There's 1 Oracle in production. Probe's going to be going down. That does break the supply block in a way. But this is getting out of hand already here. Lings, they just eviscerate the economy. 18 probes going to be going down. They flood into the main. Oracle is on the way. The Void Ray doing what it can, but again, Strange, he was vulnerable. He was exposed. Again, that 1 pylon was just such a weak point in the wall. And with 5 Banelings, it was enough. It wasn't enough in the end. Boys are being pulled. They will clean up all the Lings, but that's going to be 26 probe kills. And Lings, they just keep on going. Alas, the wall is secure. Strange will hold, and from here, Nikich, he can just drone. He can just drone on up. He is saturating, re-droning, resaturating. Nikich rotating back over. And again, this is all because of the pylon. If there wasn't an exposed pylon, if there wasn't that weak point in the wall, then most likely we would have seen just a different follow-up here. This was a reaction to Strange's setup. There's a PSA out there for Protoss players. What? Wall at? What are you... Not with a pylon, of course. Aye. We kind of will be like hero. As the Oracle does get across the map, will force a cancel on the Spore. Does force a cancel. Gets another, gets a kill, not bad. Gets some damage. Again, Nikich, he's freely droning, freely saturating. Strange behind this. I mean, it isn't just that he has to resaturate all of his workers and rebuild all those probes, but at the same time, he also fully walls, right? Like, there's a full wall here. It's very messy as well, very inefficient. He's gonna have to break this himself later on if he wants to expand, if he wants to try to get a third. We see Strange going for a Twilight Council follow-up, Gateway Explosion. This could be Glaives, this could be Charge, 2 base all in on the horizon. And all Nikich has to do is just drone and get a Roach Horn. Just be safe. Just be safe. Drone up, saturate, take gases as well. Nikich, he's free to be quite comfortable here. Does want to take it safe. He does not have a Spore here at the 3rd, which is a little bit concerning. It does mean that there is a bit of a weak point here at his 3rd location, but everywhere else he's fine. Everywhere else he is secure. 1 drone going to be going down. Oracle's looking for more damage. Yeah, workers they pull back. Nice control so far. And it is going to be a 2-base all-in with Glaive Adepts, not with charge. So Glaive's on the way. And gases are being taken. I believe that's going to be 6 gates. And again, he has to kill his own pylon. He has to break himself free. Nikich does have 2 layers on the way, so Nikich getting a little bit flustered here. Hopefully he can just take a breath, calm down. Like Nikich, you're in a good position. You're on 3-base saturation. You got 4 gases. It's okay. It's okay, Papi. It's okay. Lings, they delay the expansion. Technically, for all Nikich knows, there could be a Glaive follow-ups. There could be something different. There could be Sky Toss on the horizon. True. Could be like a second Stargate into a Fleet Beacon into Carrier. There are options. Adepts, for now, they're going to be spotted. Roaches are already amassing, thankfully. So Nikich is building up his roaches. He's rallying back home. So 6 more roaches on the way. Roach speed almost done. That's strange. He's still warping in. So of course committed. He hasn't really shown his hand yet. Seeing these adepts initially is not a tell that there's going to be glaives. And fun fact, Nikich is actually going into, once again, an all-in. Yeah, he's going for the Dropplords. Overload speed, Dropplords on the horizon. This time though, I do feel like Nikich should be a little more successful. This time he does have the greater economy. This time Nikich looking solid. And here we go. Overlords move out, so Droplord as well. Here comes the main crowned army. Nikich, he's droning up behind this, taking gases and getting a 4th base. So it's not, he doesn't have everything in this. Oh, as 1 Ravager gets caught. Did I say 1? Getting 2. Rough start here for Nikich. Adepts will buy some time. They race across, he commits to the shade. It does commit. Lings, they attempt to surround the wiles. Oh, nice connections. They graze the army. They do graze. Army steps forward, catching up with the adepts. Boys being pulled away. A couple drones are going to go down. Shading into the natural. Army's out of position. More drones going to be falling. Drones are falling down. At the same time, Nikich gets across the map, takes down the Void Ray. Ooh, Spire is going to be denied. There's a cancel. Spire is denied. We have +1 air attack on. Jeez. +1 air attacks on the way. Drone's going to be falling down. Again, Strange is all over this, and all the mineral lines dealing critical damage, but at the same time, Strange is still more committed. Like, Strange still has a weaker economy. Nikich is still in a decent position. I say that 4th base is about to go down. The power of Adepts, they defend back at home, they attack. They're finally going to be dealt with. As we drop into the main. Oh, can we get a transfuse? Not quite. 1 queen goes down. Production gets spotted, and now Nikich now can focus on his push. He's done defending, now he can attack, and the 3rd base should fall. Actually, he just ignores it. Yeah, goes for the kill, goes for the natural instead. Setting creep, setting up queens. Busting on through. There are adepts to defend, but against roaches defensively, these adepts, they do nothing. They do nothing here. Sure, there's a force field, a couple of them, and they get knocked down by the Ravagers. And Nikich, he will break through. Again, off of the Bane Bus, GG gets called, and Nikich ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. Does have the series up. We do have a back and forth already here. Nikich doing what many others struggled and failed to do last month. Takes the game. Takes his game off of Strange, and will force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Nikich, he did see an opportunity. He saw a weak point. He did see the initial flimsy wall of Strange and did react with a Bane bust, and he was able to bust on in, bust on through. Didn't necessarily end the game then and there, but he did give himself enough of a lead to just snowball into his follow-up German taxi off of a 3-base economy. Things got a little bit hairy. Things got a little bit frisky when it came to the Glaive Adept counter attack, and things were a little bit concerning there. But for the most part, Nikich, he was okay. It was fine. It was fine, Bobby. Everything under control, and here we go. Now we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our blue Protoss player being forced into the ace match. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is Strange. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from land of Belarus, representing Alien Esports. It is Nikich. Again, Nikich, he has been on the rise. He's been looking very impressive as of late. And already taking game is a strong start. Strong start for Nikich. And we'll see if we can continue that success. We'll see. I mean, again, a big part of that was just a little bit more reactive as to the Wall of Strange. Here, instead, the pylon is at a more sensible location further back. Is going to be protected this time. So Strange, he has a more secure setup. I mean, especially after the last game, I doubt we're going to see Strange take that many risks and cut that many corners. Likewise, scouts across the map confirms a standard opener. And this time there is less opportunity for something like a Bane Bust. So we are building up. Likewise, we do see Nikich still just droning, just saturating. He does pull out of gas, so this time he's not building up towards a Bane Bust. This time playing more standard, as he does completely pull out. Does pull out, looking to claim his third. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of Strange. Once again, every game so far, we've seen a Stargate opener, and every game so far, it has been a Void Ray first. So we might see a Void Ray again for the third game in a row. We could see Strange mix it up, but in general here, going Void Ray, hiding the build, shutting down Overlords, I mean, it all is in line of the strengths of Strange. So it would make sense for him to invest into Void Rays again for a third time. As there it is, Void Rays on the way. Once again from Strange. Depth is going to be forced back. Zep does take down the tumor, not bad. Does catch a tumor, threatens a shade. And really what we're waiting for here is, do we go into Glaives again? We have gone games twice in this series. Gone Glaives twice in this series. Do we go for another Twilight Council before expansion? Do we expand first? Do we go for, say, a second Stargate? There it is. Twilight Council, Glaive Adepts. Same build that we saw in game 1. It's the same build once again. Now, this time, Nikich, he's not rushing to early plus on melee. As a reminder, in game 1, we had early Eva Chamber, early melee, and that is a sign of greed. That is a sign of ideally laying Hydra and a more laying heavy composition. Here, there is no Eva Chamber. There's a higher chance there's going to be a safety Roach one, and a higher chance that we're going to be investing a little bit harder into Roaches as well. And there it is. It's going to be a 4:07 Roach Warren timing, so much earlier compared to game 1. Game 1, it was at 4:30. So earlier Roach Warren, earlier gases here, faster droning, better saturation for Nikich. Ideally leads into a more robust Roach army in the mid game. That's all well and good, but we'll see if we can keep up with the Adepts. Lings, they poke in, they threaten the third. Oh, they get us around, not bad. First Adept is going to fall. Gets one. And going for another, but last Void Ray will defend. Adepts, they threaten a shade. Queens, they do keep up. Going for the lair. Roach production has already begun. As Adepts, they threaten the third. He's trying to keep up with the shades. Just trying to keep up. As larva goes down. Nothing major, just some larva. Ooh, this I was not. Wait, whoa. Hold on. As Adepts, they back off now. A couple of things. Strange, he saw the Roach Warren. True, he did see the Roach Warren. He cancels Glaives, goes into Blink, into DTs. So Strange, he does adjust based on the opener, based on seeing the early Roach production. He gets the hell out of Adept Aggression. He's not committing, not this time. Going into Blink instead. Now, something to bear in mind here is, yeah, late forge. Very late forge, so late upgrades for Strange. This blink-based follow-up is going to be a little bit faster, and he can be active on the map a little bit sooner, but the upgrade is going to be lacking here for Strange, especially compared to his opponents. But the Dark Shrine is going to be a bit of a twist, a bit of a turn, and that may pop off. I'm a little bit concerned here. Thankfully, there should be spores in position. There we go. Spore in the main, spore at the natural as well. No spore at the third. That is a concern, as the Dark Shrine is done. Now, it's going to be a little bit of an awkward DT build here. The reason why I say awkward, remember, there's no robo. Oh, wait, no, he did build a robo. Never mind. He's warping in DTs defensively, though. What I was about to say is that with this build, there was a no robo, so there's no warp prism, there's no way to harass across the map. There is a robo, but there's still no warp prism. Like, we're not doing anything with the robo, and we just walk them across. We just walk them across. Now, this does mean that the DTs, they hit very late. They hit very late, but there is no spore. There is an Overseer, thankfully, at the third location, and the Overseer will confirm that our Templar, Nikich, he doesn't react. Yeah, doesn't react, does not notice. DTs, they make their way in. Yeah, they're getting into the mineral line. The Overseers are across the map. Back by DTs trying to find some more damage. They're going to be shut down in the main. Meanwhile, here at the third, they do get a queen. We got one queen so far. They target down some workers. 2 queens fall. 2 queens, 6 drones. This will be cleaned up. But decent damage here by Strange as he goes back into the main. Oh, and he gets 10. He gets 10. 11 drones. 11 drones for what? 2 Dark Templar? Sorry, 3 Dark Templar. Not bad. Back at home, Strange building up his forces. Now, we are getting into the mid-game here. Unfortunately, Nikich, he is behind economically. He has to re-drone, resaturate. His 4th base is very delayed as well. That is a concern, as the 4th base is very late for Nikich. And he's taking up and he's rushing into Hive. Oh. So the problem here, rushing into Hive and rushing into Lurkers, I'm assuming he's trying to rush into Lurker tech, is all well and good. The problem, though, is that because of the late 4th base and because of all the dead workers, his economy isn't looking ideal. His economy is still building up, it's still getting there, so we'll see what he's able to accomplish with this Hive. He can maybe rush into early Vipers. True, early Vipers, they have their place. But there's no Lurker Den yet. No Lurker Den for the time being. Nikich is being active. He moves out towards the third, getting ready for a run by. We do see Strange out of position. Strange's army is spotted. Lings, they do bust in. Roaches as well, going for the cannon. And it does go down. Cannon goes down, a couple of rogue kills at the same time. We do see DTs hitting the 4th base, and Strange, he just commits, he just doesn't care. Oh, and it's not for Vipers, he's going for Lurkers, but again, this Hive is, in a sense, early. The Lurker Den is late, he just didn't have the money for it. So Nikich, he invested into a Hive, and he's not able to take advantage of it. Like, there's nothing coming from said Hive. Void Ray goes down, nice force fields, locking down some of the roaches. Back at home, DTs, they defend defensively. There was no detection, no Overseer. So DT's defend and Strange is moving in. The boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. Barely any roaches remaining. Meanwhile, the expansion was denied. That's going to be a kill, not a cancel. And we're diving on the Hydras. Yeah, Strange, he dives on the Hydras. He blinks on forward. Nikich is being broken. Again, boys are being pulled. They all go down. There's still 2 Immortals left. Yeah, a bit of a desperation move here from Nikich. He's trying to hold on desperately. But there's just too much Protoss. There's too much Protoss here. Breaks through the roaches, gets on top of the Hydras. The slow lots, they're coming in. God. The slow lots, they're terrifying. As the base is gonna fall. Likewise, no detection. There's a DT catching reinforcements. And these are losses that Nikich just cannot afford as more Hydras do go down. Immortals, they do deal with the expansion. And Strange going for the kill, going for the natural. He was sniping the Roach Warren. Roach Warren goes down. Army moves in. GG gets called as Strange snowballs out of control, and Strange, he will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Strange with some twists and turns here in game 3. Again, he was initially going into Glaives before his third base, and then he did hard switch into Blink Stalkers after he saw the early Roach production, so a good transition there by Strange, just pivoting away from his Adepts into Stalkers instead, which did scale better into a longer game against Roaches. Likewise, going into DTs at the same time. Unfortunately, there was no Spore at the third base, and even in the main, we saw Nikich struggle to defend the DTs. They just got so much damage done. They did pay for themselves. They also delayed and they stifled Nikich. Nikich, he was trying to rush into the Hive. As we mentioned, he was investing into tech, into upgrades, into mainly tech that just didn't come into play, right? He invested into Hydra upgrades, into the Hive, into the Lurker Den, but alas, Strange, he was able to strike before any of that came into play. Likewise, fourth base was late. Fourth base also never got up and running for even larva or even production. So last Nikich, he was caught off guard, he was caught out, and with that, Strange takes the first win. GG. GG, well played. He will take the first win here, and that leads us into our next game. That leads us into our next series, into another PvZ featuring two very different players, Art and Young Yakov. Let's go. So Strange starts off with a win. Now going to be featuring some of the other players in the group stage. As a reminder, it is a full single group, but it is a Swiss format. So winners play against winners, losers against losers. It's a very different kind of setup here. Does mean that there are less games in total, and there is a little bit of an RNG factor involved as well. I will say that, just because you don't play, it's not round robin, you don't play against everyone. A lot of your early matches will determine how well you perform in the group. And we'll see how Art and Young Yakov compare. Now, what I will say is that we should see a very different kind of PvZ. As you saw in that last series, hyper aggression, right? Like Strange time and time again going into Glaives, going into DTs. Meanwhile, Nikich, he also went for a Bane Bust in game 2. So in general, we had some shorter games in that first series, but coming into this series, I would not be surprised if we get some mid game, maybe even some late game. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Amygdala, we have the blue Protoss player representing his new team, Team Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. It is Young Yakov. Here we go. And again, Art, he is a little more mid-game oriented. He can be aggressive at times, don't get me wrong, but nowhere near as much as Strange. Like Strange, he's an animal. He's he's an animal. He's disgusting at times. Art, he's a little more standard in his play. Likewise, Young Yakov, he is also one to typically thrive in the mid game. We have seen Young Yakov go for 3 base all-ins from time to time. He's willing to end the game early if he sees an opportunity, and we'll see how he will approach this. But now we're settling in. But again, we should be seeing a very different kind of PvZ. That should be. As we do have our hatch gas pool, standard open under Young Yakov. Likewise, Art back at home does go for his own gate expand into Cybercore. So far, so good. Setting up. Good so far. Young Yakov just setting up and saturating his bases. Likewise, ours are going for his tech of choice. Cybercore is done, and we should be seeing a Stargate. It's a little bit more of a rare sight to see a Twilight Council opener. Not impossible, just a little bit rarer here. Keep an eye on the Protoss. So there we go, we have our tech of choice, no surprise here, Stargate opener out of Art, so Stargate most likely into Oracle. Every game previously in the last series, it was just Void Ray, right? It was just Stargate into Void Ray every single game, and it was more focused on denying vision, denying scouting more than anything. In a more standard PvZ, Oracle openers are the go-to, designed to scatter across the map, to harass, to hinder some of the economy, and to allow yourself to get into a faster third expansion, to get into the mid game. That's what we expect out of Art. As one link does slip into the main, will confirm the tech, does confirm the Stargate. Nicely done so far here by young Yakov. Nothing major, but does at least scout without spending his Overlord. As it is going to be the Oracle. So again, standard opener out of Art, but something that we haven't actually seen today yet. Just something that Strange did not indulge in at all. Meanwhile, Adept shading into, threatening a shade. Does threaten the shade, and Yakov is free to drone up, free to saturate. He is making 14 lings though. That's a big investment here by young Yakov. What is the purpose of these lings? The purpose should be to harass, to potentially force a cancel at the third. There we go. Nexus gets thrown down, lings are building up, now they're rallying across the map. Oracle moves out. Back at home, young Yakov, he's ready for this. Queens are in position. Lings diving in. And do they get a surround? Oh, they do. Yeah, they do get a surround. The first Adept is going to fall. A massive pickoff. Second Adept as well. The Oracle's across the map. The second Oracle does arrive at home to defend, and it will defend. It will force us back. So far, so good. And this is why we see Oracle openers be so effective to get into a longer game, because they can harass across the map, and they can also defend against things like this, against these Ling run-bys. Yeah, Lings, they get completely shut down. Art, he does hold, and now young Yakov, he's in a rough position. He's in a rough position here, young Yakov. He delayed his own droning, he delayed his own saturation in favor of this Ling Flood, and the Ling Flood has achieved nothing. He killed one Adept. Now, in a way, you can argue that, oh, he's at least keeping an Oracle at home, I suppose, but even then, this is still just a better setup here for Art. Lings are going back in, but now there's a robust ground army. Now we don't even need the Oracles at home to defend. Art, he does prematurely activate one of his Oracles though, so he's wasting energy here. He doesn't notice, so yeah, he's going to run out of energy on one of the Oracles. Less to work with, that may factor in as he is pushing. Does move out. Behind this Eva Chamber into +1 melee, we have a safety Roach Warden as well from young Yakov. Again, there's less support with these Oracles as one of them's out of energy. But for the most part, he pokes in, denies some creep, threatens a shade. And does he commit? He does! Does commit into the main. Lings, they should clean this up though. As we do target fire one drone. Just the one. So yeah, Yakov defends. Triple Oracle into the mineral line. Oh, taking a lot of hits. One Oracle goes down. That was not worth it for Art. He gets 4 drone kills, which is okay, but for an Oracle, that is not worth it. And Yakov is redroning, resaturating. Likewise, young Yakov, he does go for a Ling Flood across the map, or a Ling run-by. But there are Sorgers to defend. Yeah, there are Sorgers, there's a shield battery. Behind this Hydra Den, so young Yakov is going from initially Ling Roach into Roach Hydra. I say Roach Hydra. Ideally, if young Yakov, he can get away with it. If he can get away with it, he will be skipping Roaches. Ooh, as that is a very fast infestation pit. Okay. Infestation pit's on the way. Fast pit tells us that this most likely is going to be to rush into Lurker Tech. Most likely. The pit is scouted. Arch is aware. Now, Arch, he can punish this. Scouting the fast infestation pit and scouting fast hive and fast Lurker Tech, you can punish, you can be more assertive, more aggressive, and try to break young Yakov. We'll see if he's able to. As there it is, Hive is on the way. This is a 7-minute Hive. Aye, aye, aye. So very fast. Arch is still working towards Charge. Temple Archives on the way for Storm. It's going to be close, but I want to say that Art can hit with Storm. He can hit with his army before Lurker Tech. if he wants to go for that kind of timing. I do think it is available. There's that Lurker Den on the way. Temple Archives is complete. I am making the assumption that we're working towards Storm, but Storm has not begun. Artie has the money for it. But now Artie's distracted, keeping up with the Lings. Is this just for Archons? What's the plan? Looks like it is. Okay. For both. So Storm is late. Storm is late. It could have started sooner. Definitely could have started sooner here. And as a result, that timing that we spoke about, it's not going to be as available here. Lurker Den is about to finish. And it looks like Young Yakov is set up here for Lair Tech Lurkers. So based on this timing, I do still think that we could have hit with Storm before Lurkers, but now at this point it does look too late. Fleet Beacon is on the way. Artie's going to Sky Toss. Which means Young Yakov, he has successfully gotten away with rushing into Hive and rushing into Lurkers. He's done it. Now we have 7 Lurkers morphing in. This is spotted by the Revelation. RT pokes forward, but at this point he cannot stop this. He can maybe snipe a Hydra. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Good value. Gets 3 Hydras. Blinks away. Lurkers have morphed in. And RT's forced into a longer game. Nidus on the way. Yakov is up to 90 workers or 89 drones. On 4 base saturation, getting his 5th, getting a gold as well, so he has a boosted economy. Young Yakov in a good position here. I would have said that Art had a stronger early game, especially against the Link Flood. But coming in towards a later game, Young Yakov, he's there first. He's really hitting his stride. As the Fleet Beacon is done, Art, he's heavily supply blocked. 3 pylons on the way. Unable to reinforce, unable to warp in, unable to make any Skytoss units. And now is not the time. Mothership has begun. And that's a lot of Lurkers. There aren't enough immortals to really push through this. Archie cannot break through this army. Not with this. Not yet. Rami's attempted Nidus into the main.
Our base is besieged.
Oh, Archie's unaware. He's unaware, he's being active. Nidus will complete. Lurkers, they're busting in. Lunkers, they do bust in. They go for the production. Archie's racing back home. He's out of position. We have the ramp. And Young Yakov, he will take this. He has control of the ramp. Takes down the upgrades. Ooh, takes down the immortal. And how do you push up into this? How do you push up this narrow ramp into all these Lunkers? You don't. That's the answer. You do not push into this. More Lurkers moving in. Recall into the main. Storm on top of the ramp. And it's not going to work out here. The production's under fire. The Tempests are on the way, but it's going to be shut down as well. And then Yakov, he overwhelms. He just catches Art out of position. GG gets called, and Young Yakov will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Very decisive play there by Young Yakov. Again, despite having a shaky start of the game, he was able to get away with rushing into a 7-minute hive, rushing into Lurkers, rushing into the Nidus Storm as well. We saw that there were moments where Art could maybe try to punish him, but remember, Art, he did delay his storm, likewise got heavily supply blocked as well, and unfortunately towards the end, Art, he did miss that Nidus, and 1 Nidus finishing in the main base with that many Lurkers, that's game. That's game then and there. There just was no answer there for Art. He could not push up the ramp. He attempted to recall, couldn't even pull that off. GG. GG, well played with that. Young Yakov takes the lead. And oh, I'm a little bit caught by surprise here. I was not expecting a custom map pool. So a lot of the online tournaments have gotten rid of the older maps. A lot, if not all, online tournaments have gotten rid of Neon Violet Square, King's Cove, and Abyssal Reef. And it looks like Firegrow Cup has followed suit. Okay, looks like we have followed suit here, and we're going to be introducing some of these new TLMC maps, TLMC 20 maps spawning in the right-hand corner of Sandworm. We have the blue Protoss player down in the series representing his new team, Quasar. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, leading the series 1-0. It is young Yakov. We go. So just double checking here. So we have gotten rid of those 3 older maps, replaced them with Killer's Mile, Sandworm, and Starchild. It looks like they also have Arrowhome as well. What was the other map they got rid of? Leyline, Ultra Love, Whispers of Gold, El Dorado. Okay. So it looks like Minnow VK got rid of El Dorado as well and replaced it with Arrowhome. So again, maps we are very familiar with, maps that we feature in our own tournaments as well. So it is great to see. We go. As we have our hatch gas pool, standard opener out of young Yakov. And Arts likewise going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. And welcome 1-0 to Sandworm. Again, Sandworm is a map that we have featured plenty of times on the channel. We've been featuring it quite often here over the course of the past couple of months. And it is a rush map, or it is a shorter rush distance by ground, but there are certain features here that do make it a little bit more quirky, a little bit more unusual. One of those is the Dragon's Teeth in the center. That does delay pushes. It does kind of disrupt some of the assaults that can otherwise happen. We have the gold bases in the center. The gold bases we have found to be very secure. It is a little bit easier to actually knock down these rocks, expand, take the gold, and secure yourself at this gold as well. We have seen that from Terran players and Protoss players alike, so we'll see if Art is able to take advantage of said gold expansion. Otherwise, we'll see how young Yakov will approach this. Speaking of gold base, is going for it himself. Okay, let's go. Knocking down those rocks. We have our Stargate opener back at home. So Stargate from Art. Likewise, young Yakov still droning, still saturating. And looks like he will take the third. I think the purpose of these rocks here, in the end, I don't think really achieved its goal. The purpose of these rocks was designed to delay mining and to, because of that, delay the third base and force a bigger investment. But what we found casting Sandworm time and time again is that this doesn't really delay anything. Like, sure, it does force supply to get busy to kill the rocks, but in general, it doesn't really deter or hinder the gold base from actually being taken. As rocks are getting chipped away at, the first adept does arrive. So far, things are keeping up. Shade is cancelled, and young Yakov will soon take advantage of set gold. Likewise, ooh, that is a Twilight Council before expansion. I mean, that would be a way to try to punish this. This does scream Glaive Adepts. So Art, he is pulling. Oh, he's kind of going into Strange's bag of tricks. There we go. I got there in the end. Is pulling a Strange, going into Glaives. Meanwhile, rocks are knocked down. The Oracle does confirm. Oracle is going to be sent away here by the Queens, and we'll see if Art can punish this. I say if just because we have seen again a lot of players struggle to punish the gold base on this map. As the Glaives are on the way. Queens are pushing forward. Young Yakov, he does transfer, he does prioritize saturation on the gold. Slings move in. They move in. Roach Horn is on the way, plus on melee alongside this. Double Oracle hitting the natural. Oh. Does attempt to. So far, young Yakov still building up. Adepts are now going to move out. And young Yakov, he will scout this. He will confirm. Yeah, he sees all the adepts. Now he knows. He knows what's going on. Roaches are amassing. Army's getting in position. Young Yakov, he does have just a bit of a heads up as to what's happening. Adepts filing across the map. They're in position. Lings, they do engage ahead of time. The Lings are going to be shut down, but they're buying time for the roaches. As the first queen does fall. Takes down the queen, Adepts they shed in. We do have a full wall here at the natural. And so far, Young Yakov, he's secure at least at the natural base. That's making the way towards the third. They catch a queen. Pick up the queen. They get a couple of workers at 3-4 drone kills, but so far not enough damage. Bearing in mind that we do get 4 workers, but the gold base does make up for that. Remember, Young Yakov has a boosted economy. Adepts once again, they're denied into the natural. More Adepts have arrived. They still haven't dealt critical damage, but they do get another drone. 5. They got 5 drone kills so far. Roach speed has begun for Young Yakov. Oh, he does allow that to finish. Evo chamber does complete. He has to kill it himself. But there are enough roaches on the other side. So it's a bit of an awkward setup here because of that wall. But yeah, Yakov, he still holds, he still defends. Oh my god, yeah, punishes the Oracle, takes down one of them, massive pickoff. Oracle goes down, and now Young Yakov can get ready for a counterattack. As he defends, Roach speed is almost complete. He can enjoy the gold. Getting another expansion, taking the gases. And this is not good enough for Art. He's gotten 7 drone kills. Now, Art, he does have a higher probe count, but that doesn't matter. Not with the gold involved. Gold base here just wasn't punished. And Yakov's still droning, getting into Bailing speed, getting to +2. So getting to Ling Bane and Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, Archie's getting ready for the counterattack. He throws down a wall of stack defense, stasis traps, shield batteries, sentries, immortal production. He's getting ready for a push. A push that isn't yet moving out. There we go. There we go. Now he's focusing on the army. Young Yakov, he set up all of his upgrades, set up all of his tech, and now it's time to commit. Now it's time to focus on the push. Focus on the move out. Likewise, Colossus are building. I mean, pushing into Colossus is not going to be easy. And Young Yakov, he has to make a choice. Does he drone or does he not? He has 2 bases on the way. He has not droned up yet. He has no saturation at the 4th. What's the plan? He does see the Colossus. He does see the Colossus. He doesn't know. He's aware. He drones. Upon seeing the Colossus, he's now droning up now. Coming into this, these drones are late. This is late saturation for Young Yakov, so this is not ideal. He could have been in a better economic position, but again, his decision here was delayed, or was determined by the Colossus, by the tech. Art, he successfully defends. He's getting a 4th expansion. Art is recovering. Despite not really doing enough with his Adepts, he's building back up. He's recovering, getting more Colossus. Temple Archives on the way for Storm. Now, Young Yakov ideally does want Art to push into him. He does want Art to push onto Creep. Alright, he sees the army. Nice force fields. And Yakov pulls away. Hive is in production. This should be for Vipers. So Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, Viper should be the go-to. As Vipers are going to be the answer to the Colossus. Going to be the answer. This part is still building up. Now, I had assumed that we were going to take him in a fight. Never mind. I assumed, yeah, we'll just make like 3 Vipers, then we can just commit in, we can yoink all the Colossus and just end the game. Both armies are maxing out, and we did make 2 Vipers, but Young Yakov is taking up into Ultras and Aspire. So we're just building up into a later game. We're droning, saturating, we're up to 80 workers, we have the boosted economy with the gold base, of course. And the game is slowing down. Now, as we're getting into this kind of game state, this would be a prime time here for Art to throw down a fleet beacon. Throw down a fleet beacon and 2 more Stargates into Sky Toss. Right now would be the time. Right now, though, he's stuck with a ground-based army. He is maxed, that is true, but his tech isn't really ready for anything later than this. Here come the yoinks. Up, gets 1, gets 2. Close is going to be going down. Failings, they crashed in, they shut down the High Temple. Oh my god, the High Temple had to do full, no storms. Yeah, 0 storms bounce here on the Prism, and denies the warp in. The final Colossus goes down. And it looks like Art, he will hold on when it comes to his main army, but he lost 3 Colossus and the Warp Prism and every single High Templar as well. Brutal losses for Art, as he will lose all of his high-tech units. And Young Yakov, that was a very cheap army, and what does he replace it with? With Ultras. Ultras on the horizon. There's no Immortals, right? There's no Immortals. There's no good answer to Ultras. Not yet. Not anymore. 5 Ultras on the way. Kindness plating. Oh, he wants the Archon. He gets it. Takes down the Archon, collapsing on these Stalkers. I mean, again, these are Cracklings. They crack. They have Adrenal. And they trade very nicely here against the Stalkers. And again, there's no splash damage. The Colossus just now coming in. And Colossus, they're great against Lings, less so against Ultras. As the Ultras are amassing, Vipers, they did survive the previous engagement. They did survive. Massing up, we have a couple of Infestors on the way as well for good measure, just for those fungal growths. And remember, Art, he's not ready for Sky Toss. He never got the Fleet Beacon, never got the Stargates. He's going for a double Robo. He's committing into a ground-based army instead. But I'm not so sure he can get there in time. So Ultras, they're looking to collapse. They're looking to collapse in. Force fields, they will do nothing. Oh, the yoink of the Sentry. Bit of a mispick. It's fine. Blinding Clouds on the Stalkers. Ultras, they dive in. Another Blinding Cloud as well. Yo, we showed that Sentry who's boss. We got him. As Ultras, they're going to snowball out of control. There's just nothing to stop them. GG gets called, and Young Yakov, he will snowball out of control. He will take the series at 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Young Yakov, he will claim it. Art, he did have some strong moments in this series, especially like in the early game of Game 1, for example. Here in Game 2, he had potential with the Adepts, but as we mentioned, he did not do anywhere near enough damage. He got, I want to say 5 drones. I want to say 5 workers with his Glaive Adepts. That was not worth it, especially considering the gold base. Maybe if this was a standard map and if there wasn't a gold to factor in, then maybe that would have been enough to give himself enough to get into the mid game in a more decent position, but the goal base had snowballed out of control, and Young Yakov was able to just freely saturate, take map control, take more bases, and just build up. GG. GG, well played. With that Young Yakov, he will claim the series. Does take down Art 2-0. Bearing in mind, this is still the group stage, still plenty more matches ahead of us, and we have our next series here. Here we go, featuring 2 more players. So far we have featured Strange, Art, Nikich, Young Yakov. Up next we have a Zerg and a Terran player. Up next we have Wayne and Milky Cow. Let's go. Now, for those that are old school viewers, you might be thinking, Milky Cow? It's been a while. Did he not retire? Kind of. Milky Cow, he did step away. He did, like, quote unquote retire. He stepped away from the game. This was, what, last year? Like, beginning of last year sort of thing. Milky Cow, he stepped away, he stopped competing, but I want to say a couple of months ago at this point, Milky Cow, he returned. He did return to competitive play. It took a while for Milky Cow to catch back up and to shake the rust off and to recover, but nowadays Milky Cow, he definitely does threaten the best players in the CIS region. He's been looking very strong, very competent, very competitive, I should even say, and we'll see how he compares to Wayne. I'm ready for it. I'm ready here for some ZBT action. Let's go. Let us go. As we are jumping into game number 1. Oh, I'm gonna have to change some names. God damn it. But here we go. We have spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef. We have the yellow Zerg player himself, the runner-up of last month of Fire Cup number 8. It is Wayne. Hold on, I'll get the cow ready. There we go. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Abyssal Reef? I don't think they got the memo, by the way, that this map is not in this tournament map pool. SMH my hedge. As in the top left hand corner, we have our red Terran player representing 3D Clan. It is Milky Cow. It does happen at times, but for those that are curious, in this tournament, the older maps like Abyssal Reef, Neo Violet Square, and King's Cove, alongside El Dorado, are not in the tournament map pool. But I believe these players, they didn't notice. They just got in. It happens. It happens. God damn it. Oh, wait, what? Yo, he's playing like he's Eric. The hell's going on? Okay, so we do have a very odd setup here. I'll be honest, I have not seen this before. So a couple of different things here. First things first, it is CC first. So CC first out of Milky Cow is a little bit greedy. Is greedy CC first here into his racks. I guess the rationale is that you can cut corners, you can go CC first and be relatively safe against a Link Flood, against like a 12 pool, for example. So because that, you have some SimCity to work with. The downside of this way of opening, though, is that sure, CC first, but you have to float, right? You have to float your command center over towards the natural to then get it up and running. So there's a bit of a give and take. In a way, decent SimCity, so you're a little bit safer. You're not as greedy as you could otherwise could be. So this is like almost like a midpoint between CC first and Racks expand, just because the CC is delayed. But I would imagine that this is still faster than a Racks expand setup. As the CC does complete, morphing in the orbital. This will delay natural base mining even longer. True. As we have the factory follow-up. Marine first, preserving that gas. Okay, makes sense to afford the faster factory. And we will Frankenstein together this opener. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting setup here. There we go. Now Milky Cow, you can float over. He can take his own natural. Again, I would imagine that this is still more greedy or more economic than going for a regular racked expand. And we have a 1-1-1 follow-up into add-on swap. Like this, there's a lot going on here. So first things first, because of the Marine first, because the Reaper was skipped, and because, I mean, as a result, there's limited scouting information across the map. But Milky Cow, he will be able to get into his faster factory, into faster starport. He's preserving his gas, of course, for this. He's getting into Reactor to Hellion initially. And are we going into Reactor to Hellion into a Hellbat push? Is that the plan? Going for early stim with like Hellbats, Marines, and Medevac support? As this, never mind, third CC after the starport. Okay. Let him cook. Okay, Hellion drop is being set up. It's going to be not a Liberator. It's going to be a Medevac first instead. Meanwhile, yeah, Wayne, just a Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool, droning, saturating. Very early. Jesus, 350? Sorry, 345? 340-ish lair timing? Oh my god. Insanely fast lair. Wayne, he has limited information as to what's going on. He did poke in with the Overlord. With this early lair, with more gases being taken, this screams 2-base Muta. But I feel like 2-base Muta might be punished by the Hellion drop. Let's go. Hellions is zooming across the map. Medevac as well. We do have the stim and bio follow-up here with 3 Raxes. And we'll see if Wayne can minimize losses against these Hellions. Nikich does look to move in. Medevac is intercepted. Yo, we're on the, let's go, we're on the pillar. Does hide on the pillar, does boost in. Jumping into the main. The Lings are trying to keep up. The Queens, they rotate over in time. Meanwhile, Hellions drop back onto the low ground, but Queens are in position. They get one drone. Oh, one drone. One drone goes down. But not much more than that. Now, what's scary here, a couple of things. The Hellions, they do scout the lair's already done. Like, again, this lair should not be done by now already, so the lair is very fast. Does take note of that. Does not scout the tech, though, I believe. Checking the vision here. No, sorry, did see the spire. So massive moment here from Milky. How he's aware of what's going on. He's building a Marines. Question is, did he click on the morphing in structure? That's the question. He might believe it's a spine crawler or a spore. It'd be an odd location for one, don't get me wrong. But I don't see any turrets. And we have eBays. We have the potential for turrets right now. We have Marines on the way. Lings, they move out. They will threaten the mineral line. Getting an SCV. When he pulls away, mutas are amassing. And Wayne is going into Lingbane Muta, bearing in mind that to be able to afford all these mutas early on, there's no Evo chambers, so lacking upgrades here for the ground army. The ground army is going to be struggling or suffering as a result. But the mutas have potential to make this worth his while. As Milky Cow, no turrets, he didn't see. I should say, Milky Cow's units saw the spire, he didn't click on it. He didn't notice. He didn't notice what that was. It didn't register. As a result, he is not prepared. Is not prepared. Mutas, they're diving in. They catch out a medevac, they get one, they get... Oh! Oh my god, they get two medevacs. That tank was inside. They trade well against the bio. Last stim is done, but the mutas, they still trade well. They overwhelmed. They shut down the Marines. Rotating back over. Still no economic damage yet. Turrets are on the way, but again, they're late. Late turrets here. As Milky Cow, again, he didn't notice what was going on. Getting 4 SCVs. 4 SCVs do go down. When he rotates. Does rotate over. Quest pulls away. One upgrades on the horizon here. And so far, Wayne, he's in control. He's in control here of the map. He has map control. He's containing his opponent. I mean, he just sniped some medevacs. We have drilling claws on the way. Thor production as well. Going to bio mine. This Wayne, he's looking for another way in. Ideally forcing a stim. Containing Milky Cow. Now, I do appreciate this. Wayne, he's still investing into +1 flyer attack, don't get me wrong, but that is a Hydra den on the way. This tells us that he does plan on switching into Lurkers. Lurkers are more ideal against a Widowmine heavy composition. Mutas, they're very fragile, as you can imagine. Gold mine shots is all it takes. Oh. As Mutas, they can overwhelm this. Yeah, he notices. Yeah, he can overwhelm. He'll lose one. He will lose just one muta. Sorry, lose the second. 2 mutas go down. The Kings on the medevac, the Hellbats, the bio army. Oof. Delays CC, or at least attempts to. And behind this, no more muta production. Just purely Lingbane. Pure Lingbane. Hive is on the way. Again, Wayne is trying to switch into Lurker Tech. The creep spread is solid. Spreading more tumors across the map. Getting towards the halfway mark. Containing his opponent. And there's that Lurker Tech. He's getting ready for the Lunkers. The Lunkers are coming. Oh! Oh my god. As Milky is trying to catch out those mutas. I just have amassed. Oh. Looking to deny +2. Looks like he will be able to do so. Yeah, +2 is denied. Massive pickup. Bio army still kept busy. Drop into the natural. Hydras are revealed. Now he knows. Morgan now switching back into tank production. Army moves out. Where are the lurkers? Wayne. He has the tech. He doesn't get into lair tech lurkers. Supposed to move out. Oh, massive connections. Yeah, Mind Shields, they shut down the Ling Bane. And Wayne's in trouble. Wayne, he needs to morph in those lurkers. Even without hive upgrades, lurkers, they still have value. Nikich pushing in. Wayne, he has to pull away. Now he's morphing in the lurkers. Again, the lurkers are late. And this is Nikic's moment. Can he break through this? Spark collapsing on the Thor. Thor goes down. Running out of Ling Bane. Green Army stepping on forward. Mute as they catch reinforcements. They at least attempt to. As lurkers are in position. Oh, the Mind Shield! Oh my god. As Wayne is building up back at home, getting on top of the Bio Army. And lurkers have arrived. One lurker goes down. Just the one. Mutas are racing back. Racing back home. See Wayne trying to catch out that medevac. Oh, not quite able to intercept. Not quite. Ooh, nice control out of Wayne, baiting out the Mind Shields. Oh, runs into the drop. He will bleed out these Hydras. And he responds. Likewise, Liberation has arrived. Oh, catching out drones. It's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 drones going down. Wayne taking some losses back at home. But his main army is still solid. I switch you soon. Up. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. 3, 4 lurkers falling. Massive pickups. Nokia is popping up. Oh my god. He gets 11 drones across the map. He snipes 4 lurkers. Wayne taking a lot of losses here. Has to bring it together. Has to bring it all together. Has to calm down. Likewise, he moves in. He's rotating over. Trying to keep up. Mutas there going into the main. They're going to be thrown away. Wayne is pushing forward, takes down the first tank. Takes out one of the tanks. Lurkers, they come in to reinforce. And Wayne, he will overwhelm. He shuts down the ground army. He does have enough lurkers. He has enough likewise mutas to carry the production. The Liberators, they can defend that southern base or that low ground expansion. What about the high ground though? Okay, never mind. They do reposition. The Liberators are here. No Vipers for Wayne. And without Vipers, he has no easy way to deal with this. Oof. Putting out more lurkers. And Nikich, he's holding on. Nikich, he does hold, he does defend. I mean, again, this is what Abyssal Reef is known for, is for defensive play on 5 bases. It's not easy to break. Ghosts are getting surrounded, though. Nice pickups, taking down 3 ghosts. Yeah, Wayne, he rotates, he does outposition Nikich. Oh, god, oh, god, oh, god. Oh, no, taking a lot of damage. Wayne, he will respect the Liberator. Pulls away, building up more lurkers. And Wayne still has momentum. Both players are on 90 plus workers, 9 plus SCVs and drones. Nidus behind the bases, Nidus into the main. Nikich, he does notice. Despite that, not able to do anything about it. Now, there's nothing in the Nidus swarms, unfortunately. Looks like Wayne, he wasn't too confident they would finish. There we go. Lurkers now filing in. Into the main. Oh my god. And brutal mind shots. Likewise, Wayne, he rotates over towards the center expansion, just dragging and pulling Nikich apart. Lurkers are very low, but they will get us with the Ghost Academy. Academy's burning down. Lurkers, they've rotate over. Lurkers, they do rotate. Going back and forth in between the bases. Same time, Wayne forced to defend. He's forced to defend back at home, and this is giving Milky Cow more time to recover here. Like, what's impressive is that Milky Cow, he still has a comparable army size, but he's not quite in position. Yeah, Lurkers, they move in. She heavily oversaturated. Oh my god, the SCVs are all here. What the planetary? Ghosts are coming from behind. Massive snipes. Snipes on the Hydra, snipes on the Lurkers. Brutal fight in favor of Milky Cow. Bailings are late. They roll in after the Lurkers go down. They're going for the planetary. They won't quite get it. They get 24 SCVs, not bad. You get some workers. Likewise, ghosts are exposed. Exposed. Night Swarm into the main. Down to 0. Yeah, 0 lurkers. Still making more Nidus. As Wayne, he's rebuilding, he's remaxing, and after killing all those SCVs, Milky Cow, he doesn't really have as much of an economy. Not anymore. More as lurkers, they do get in. Pushing further into the main. Nidus does finish. Milky Cow once again out of position. He's just rushing on over. Does rush over. Likewise takes down the Raxes. We do get a master round. Oh my god, Jesus. Now, most of the production did go down, but at the cost of every single lunker, Pappy. The power of the snipes. The power of the ghosts. These are expensive losses here for Wayne, not gonna lie. They're very expensive. That was how many? He's lost 36 lurkers so far. Jesus, look at the efficiency here for Milky Cow. The efficiency, it's crazy. Gas-wise especially. The Lings are putting in now. We're done with the lunkers, just rolling in with Ling main. Getting on top of the ghosts, massive connections. Popping up there out of Milky Cow. Nicely done. Does pick up. Milky Cow does hold, does survive. Now, we have brought this up in games past, but here on Abyssal Reef, it is easy to secure yourself on 5 bases, as you can see. The 5 base setup here is still very secure, but the 6th base is more difficult to expand to. The 6th base, whether it's the southern 6th or the northern 6th base, it is much more isolated, much more out in the open. This is where Milky Cow is going to struggle a lot more in maintaining this expansion. Whereas Wayne has map control, so he's freely double expanding, getting his own 6th, 7th, and 8th base. So he's on 8 hatcheries as opposed to the 5 bases here of Milky Cow. Milky Cow, he desperately needs another expansion to maintain his economy. But again, this is where things get difficult for the Terran to expand. Really difficult for either player, just depending on who has map control at the time. Wayne collapsing on Milky Cow. And he's rolling in. And as it crashes into the middle line, getting 9 SCVs. Milky Cow still holding on. Still holding, still surviving. You know, Wayne just taking every base. Let's go. Taking every expansion. Likewise, Night Swarms are being shut down. Wayne back into just pure Ling Bane Hydra. He's going for the planetary, gets into the mineral line. And again, he's not breaking Milky Cow. Again, it's difficult to break a Terran on these bases, but he does get into the middle line, gets 12 SCVs, gets 1 Liberator. Nidus finishes up, dragging Milky Cow apart. Oh god, once again, it's going to be close to here, losing all these lurkers, trading as best he can, creating an opening, and Wayne, his eyes are on the 6th. Planetary is not yet done, but Milky Cow is out of position. He's out of position, and this 6th is not going to get up. It's just not going to get up. And again, this is the big challenge here on Abyssal, is getting a stick expansion. It's not going to happen. Gets sniped out of the sky. Takes down 20 SCVs. Up. Actually, not quite going up. Pulling away. Another Nidus here. Into that natural. And again, to make this style work from Wayne, it is so important that these Nidus forms continue. Like, imagine this game without any of these Nidus plays. We would have seen Milky easily defend, max out, and probably even take the 6th base as well. Like, the Nidus forms are necessary here to be able to create these openings and to be able to create these opportunities that Wayne has had to break the bases, to break the expansions. Otherwise, it's just Turtle City, right? Like, otherwise, like, Milky Eye just turtles up, he defends, he secures himself, maxes out, slowly takes the 6th base, slowly takes the 7th base. These Nidus forms have been successful enough. Lurkers once again into the natural. Wayne moving in, he wants that mineral line. Aliens, oh, they do get it. Oh, massive connections, and there it is. GG gets called. He breaks the 5th base for the first time, and Wayne, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Ay. GG, well played. A very intense game here. Again, all began with Mutaplay as a reminder, which also got scouted, but didn't quite react to it. So initially Mutaplay, then into Lurker play, then switching back into Lingbane Hydra. Very intense. A lot of switches there, a lot of tech switches, I should say, from Wayne, and of course able to pull Milky Cow apart with all of those Nidus Storms as well. Milky Cow just having a very hard time once they started getting up, once they started rolling, could not secure himself back at home. Just non-stop Nidus Storms into the main, into the natural, into the 3rd base as well. Milky Cow, he was just torn apart. GG, well played. With that, Wayne takes the lead, and that leads us into game number 2. We'll see if Milky Cow can bring it back and force the ace match. Let's go. I just caught up on the chat. Is it bad that it took me ages to realize young Yakov and Yaku are not the same person? God damn it. SMH my head. Yes. Young Yakov and young Yaku are not the same. Not like this. It's all good. But here we go. We're getting into game 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the yellow Zerg player. Yellow Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player representing 3D Clan. It is Milky Cow. And speaking of catching up with the chat, a big shout out to Mindle VK. Thank you so much for tuning in even. I know that Mindle VK, he does put a lot of work in behind the scenes. I did mention this earlier, but I should just reiterate it now that he's in the chat, or at least he was in the chat. Milky Cow, he is the person behind the scenes here for this tournament. He does cast his event, of course, in his own native language, and for a very long time was mainly a pro player, mainly a competitor, but nowadays has branched out into streaming, into casting, and even organizing events like the Firegrow Cup, as this is a relatively new monthly tournament. I say new, has almost been running for an entire year. Beautiful. So a big shout out to MindoVK. Thank you so much for all the work that you put in. Thank you so much. Also for allowing us to cast in English. Thank you. As for now, we do have our initial hatch gas pool. Have our standard opener out of Wayne. Likewise, Milky Cow across the map going for his own Rax expand. This time a much more standard. As a reminder, again, last game was crazy. I remember it took me like a couple of seconds to just wrap my head around the opener. Remember, it was CC first, but a CC as a part of the wall. It was crazy. it was like CC into Rex, into Marine first, into like into a float towards the natural base. It was crazy. It's crazy. Aye, aye, aye. Wild game. Wild. Whew. Okay, with that, we're settling into game 2. Settling into game 2. Wayne, he does move out with his initial lings. It was Marine first once again. Boys are being pulled. Mining is being denied. And when SCV goes down, delays a CC. Strong start here for Wayne. Is a strong start. We have more lings in production. He's flooding. Usually it's only 4 lings, then we drone, but no, Wayne, he's committing here. He's not droning whatsoever. He has a 3rd base on Lloyd just for larva. Now he starts to drone, but again, that's 10 extra lings in production. This is a big investment here by Wayne. A big commitment. Hellion production has begun. We have 2 Hellions that are halfway done at this point. Lings, they flood out. I'm not too certain this is going to be too successful here. We'll see what Wayne can accomplish. Milky going for a 1-1-1 before 3rd CC, just like the last game. Hellions are building up. This can lead into a Hellion drop for a 2nd time. Lings, they collapse in. Can they get us around? Up, up. Can he get it? Oh, he can. Oh, not quite. Yeah, it doesn't quite surround. A nice kiting here with the Hellions. Lings are forced back, and this was not worth it. This was not worth it here for Wayne, as this will delay his own droning, his own economy. That's a race back home, drone on up. Ooh, and this is not a Hellion drop. If you remember, last game I was flirting with the idea of the initial build on Abyssal Reef being a Hellbat push. This time it is. This time it's going to be a 1-1-1, a Hellbat push. This time it's going to be a delayed tech lab for an earlier armory. And this is going to hit like a truck. Now, if Wayne doesn't get a Baneling Nest, if he doesn't get roaches, and if his queen count is too low, then Wayne is going to be overwhelmed. What do we have? 5 queens. I mean, that's an okay queen count, but again, the droning was late, so the queen's going to be delayed as well. The 6th queen specifically. Overlord does confirm the 1-1-1. But again, this looks like the last build. This was like game 1. Roach Warren gets thrown down to defend, but the Hellbatzer will hit first. Hellbatzer will strike first. And Wayne, he is in trouble here. Is in trouble. Moki Cow jumping on top of those queens. And then like, ooh, unable to save the first fire bat. Oh, sorry, the Hellbat. The Hellbat does go down. Queens, there's no transfuse. Lings are getting roasted. He gets on top of 1 queen. 1 queen goes down. Nice juggling. Saving one of the Hellbats a little bit further there. Getting into the mineral line. Oh, but now down to 3. Down to 3 Hellbats remaining. Down to 3, down to 2. And Wayne holds. Wayne, he does hold. Hellbats, they try to make their way into the mineral line. They do roast up some of those lings. But Wayne does hold. And now it's time to counterattack. Now, Milky Cow, he's in trouble. He's in trouble here. He doesn't quite have the best position. Hellion's being chased down. Will slip away. Does slip away. Likewise behind this, 3rd TC. As a part of the wall. By a follow-up here. No mech. Things are cleaned up. Wayne is not droning. Ooh, Wayne, he's not droning. He's making roaches, he's making lings. He's going for a ling ravager all in. Off of what? Off of a 2-base saturation. Not really much of an economy here. And what do we have to defend? It's going to be 1 tank, 1 liberator. Stim will finish. No bunkers. We'll see what Wayne can accomplish. As Wayne has 9 roaches. Tank does siege. Massive tank shot goes off. Rest of the army is filing in. And Wayne, now he drones. This is late. Yeah, very indecisive. Very indecisive from Wayne. Looks like Wayne, he wasn't really expecting a tank or a liberator. Upon seeing this, Wayne, the push has been stifled. Now he's droning, but again, late drones, late saturation, late economy here for Wayne. Ay, ay, ay. This investment into roaches just hasn't been worth it yet. Now he can maybe pick up some depots, true. Liberator gets into the main. Oh. Going for drones, gets 1, gets 2, gets up to 5 workers as Hellies, they roast up the natural. Oh my god. 7, 9, 10. Oh, he's not done. He's not done. He gets 1 more volley, clutch transfuse. As he does get 10 drones. 10 workers go down. Remember, Wayne, his economy was already stifled. The economy was already struggling. He already had late workers. Oh. Going for the tank. Not quite getting it though. Tank survives, depots as well. Milky Cow is in a better position. He has a better economy. Again, typically the Zerg player wants to be up a base, up in workers to keep up with the mules, but that is not happening here. Milky Cow is up in SCVs and he has mules alongside it. So Milky Cow, he is ahead and he's pushing. He is moving out. Wayne getting it forth, building up his army. Wayne, he can hold, he can defend. He's trying to be ready for this. Road speed is on the way. Milky Cow pushing in. As Milky Cow moves out, Lings, they do hit the 3rd, not bad. SCVs are going down. Okay, 3 SCVs so far. Are getting 3. Likewise, ooh, does take down one of the tanks. Nice miles. Gets 1, gets, oh, almost 2. Not quite. Milky Cow does save. Speaking of saving, back at home, he almost 3. He almost 3 SCVs. That could have been so much worse, but Milky Cow, he does defend, he does hold. Still rallying across the map, and there's still a lot of pressure on Wayne. So he does not get those tanks. Milky Cow still pushing in, still moving forward. Wayne, once again, doesn't quite get the tank. The Biles! Biles, they connect with the medevac. Medevac survives. Rocks get knocked down. Milky Cow, he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to turn around here. Lings, they do hit the middle line for a 2nd time. They force a cancel. This time is getting damaged though. 10 SCVs. But the Marines, they stim. And they're here to win. Yeah, they rush past the Biles. Yeah, nice dodges. Does avoid. No Banelings to defend. Just Roach Ravager. Or really just Ravager. Biles, they connect with one of the tanks. 1 tank goes down. Gets 1 tank, Lings across the map are cleaned up. Milky Cow, he lost a lot of SCVs. But he's still trading well. Taking down Roach after Roach, takes down some of the Ravagers. Finally going to be forced back. Oh, he's just rallying. He's just rallying across at this point. As Wayne is barely surviving. Oh my god. Milky Cow, he stims in. We're down to what, 4 Ravagers left. Does get the Biles off. Getting another tank. Wayne is holding on. He's holding. As I say that, double jump into the main. And Milky Cow, he's still rallying, by the way. He's still not stopping. So on 5 racks as the 4th was delayed. Keeping the army busy once again, just dropping over. We have some infestors in production. I mean, that will help, true. We have some infestors on the way. Staging up 2 tanks once again. Wayne going for another Ling run by, catching reinforcements, at least hoping to. Yeah, Marines are going down. Oh my god, Bile connects. As Wayne does get a tank, not bad. Takes down a tank, but the base is gonna fall. Nice fungal, very nice. He's going for the medevacs, doesn't quite get them, but Wayne, he does hold on to the expansion. Barely holding on to the hatchery. He's holding, he's surviving. Let's go. Now, Milky Cow, he's finally decided to throw in a 4th CC. The 4th CC was on the way, like, what, 5 minutes ago, but it was forced to be cancelled. So it's being rebuilt. Wayne, the Ling run-bys, they just don't stop. They keep going. Another fungal, another connection. As Milky is trying to break through. Still struggling to. Bleeds out another tank. Massive pickoff. Another tank goes down. Wayne, he defends. He survives. So he's like force back the army. And I would say that Milky is running out of steam. At this point, he's running out of steam. He is getting to 2-2. At the same time, Hive is done. We have +3 carapace on the way for Wayne. That's crazy. +3 carapace, ultras as well. They're gonna have +8. They're gonna have 1-8 upgrades. I don't think I've seen that before. But again, only plus on melee for Wayne. It's a very lopsided upgrades for the ultras, but sure, let's go. Nikich still being aggressive. Another nice fungal. Spots are avoided. I mean, I want to see the 1-8 upgrade. The 1-8? I want to see the upgraded ultras, but I don't know if we can get there. 1-7 even. That's why our army does stim in. Kindness plating still on the way. Not like this. As ultras, they dive one forward. Last Marines, they break through the Lings, getting into some of the Ravagers. Oh, ultras have to be respected. Drop back into the natural as well. Wayne, he will lose the expansion. He's stuck on 3 bases. Hatchery finally did go down to the rally. And sure, Wayne, he has ultras, but again, like, he just doesn't really have the best economy here to sustain this. Some more drones going to be going down. Actually going for the expansion. Oh, it gets a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Hatchery goes down. Wayne is still trying to hold on, trying to survive. If he was able to preserve his infestors, I'd be more confident in this, but again, he only has 1 infestor left, so limited fungals. Limited fungal growth. Where's Milky Cow setting up? Sets up back at home. As we've built, how many ultras do we have? 6? Jesus. It's soon to be 9. 9 ultras on the way. Wayne's trying to stabilize Milky Cow. He's on 4 bases. He has a superior economy. Ghost production well underway. Run-bys, they're buying time. They're forcing back Milky Cow. Forcing him back home. Getting to the mineral line. Oh. Now picking up some SCVs. You can see just like how little damage the Lings do, by the way, because they only have +1 melee. Like, the upgrades are still lacking. There's still no +2. Ah, no. So Lings, they just tickle the SCVs. Not like this. As Milky is still up in supply. Oh, getting caught out though. Ghost have to get the hell out of here. Coming up. Ghost saves. Tanks getting caught on siege. Best case scenario here for Wayne. Just cashing the army out. Yeah, on siege, unprepared. Picking up a 3 ghosts. Picking up what? 2 tanks. Yeah, 2 tanks, 3 ghosts. Massive pickups. Ultras, they commit in. Oh, but they cannot push into the choke point. Brutal snipes. Despite that, still breaks through. Oh my god. Yeah, breaks through into the natural. Bowser takes down the Liberator. Snipes are popping off. Oh my god. Snipes on the ultras. As the ultras, they go down one after the other. Still rallying in. These are expensive losses for Wayne. Again, Wayne just doesn't have the best economy here. He's back up to 4 bases, true. Oversaturated. Denies mining at the 3rd base. Workers are saved. Ling Ultra towards the planetary. The Massacre's coming in. Where are the snipes? Where are the snipes, man? Oh my god. There they are. Oh my jeez. Snipes, they shut down the ultras real fast and real quick. And how many ultras are left? 0. 0 ultras remaining. There's 3 ultras on the way. Oh, looks like the infestation wave was snipes, so no infestors, no fungal growths. We still have +1 melee. God damn it. Like, they're doing what they can. Yeah, they get a couple of SCVs. Let's go. As Nikich breaks out once again. He's had some really rough trades when it comes to getting caught out in the open. And now we have 4 infestors in production. That's going to be a lot of fungals. There we go. Let's go. +2 melee. Let's go. +2 melee of the way. 5th base is up and running. Planetary morphed in. Nikich still has the superior economy. Wayne trying to get his own 5th. So he's moving forward. Setting up his tanks. Nice snipes. Fungal does crazy army. Again, the ghosts, they do spread nicely here. They do focus on the Ravagers. Decent fungal. Oh my god, the Wild's connect, but GG gets caught as Wayne is broken. Wayne, he's out of steam, he's out of money, out of supply. GG, and Nikich, he will force the ace match. He ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG, that was a very intense back and forth. Again, Wayne, he was like, I'm most impressed here by Wayne surviving. I thought he would be broken like 10 minutes ago. Like, Wayne, he had a really rough start. Remember, Wayne, he had, I would say, a failed Ling Rush or Ling Flood earlier into really shaky, and I would say failed Roach Rush after that as well. Like, he was delaying a lot of his economy, delaying his mining. He did fall behind early on. Whistle Nikich was able to deal quite a bit and gain a little momentum early on as well, but he barely wasn't killing Wayne. It was impressive that Wayne survived for as long as he did, taking up into Hive, taking up into Ultras. It was impressive, but he never really was able to take a lead economically. He was never able to get ahead worker wise or ahead base wise. He was always one step behind. So these are always trades that Nikich could afford, and really Wayne was just treading water for 10 minutes, which is still impressive, but crazy. GG, well played. With that, the series is tied up 1-1, and we're going all the way to the ace match. We're going to game 3, and game 3 is going to be on ley lines. Let's go. Loading into ley lines. We'll see how the story ends. And spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the yellow Zerg player, the yellow Zerg himself. Oh, God, they switch places. God damn it. Un momento. As spawning in the right hand corner here of ley lines, we have the yellow Zerg player himself being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring him back. We'll see if he can look to tie or look to take this series. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing 3D Clan. It is Nikich. Tying up the series 1-1. Yes, just letting MinoVK know that this was a tied 1-1 series. And it all ends here. It all ends in the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into that final game. Whew. And we'll see how that story ends. As again, Wayne, he had an impressive defense, an impressive showing. Surviving for as long as he did, despite being quite far behind that last game. As once again, Nikich going for that low ground CC as a part of the wall. Again, he's the only player I've seen do this. It feels like an oddity, I'll be honest. I feel like it's good, I guess, maybe on the ladder, especially if you are unfamiliar with your opponents. But these are standard openers out of Wayne, so I feel like this is really hurting Milky Cow more than anything. I wouldn't be opposed to Milky Cow even just going CC first. Maybe this is good to mix in and then just go CC first at some point in the series, but that never happened. So yeah, it's a really weird opener. I guess what I should emphasize, the reason why I find this build so weird is because it's meant to be like a safer version of CC first, but at the same time, like pool firsts are not really too common, right? Like pool first or 12 pools or like early, not even 12 pools, because 12 pool doesn't even shut down early CCs. But yeah, like early game aggression is just very uncommon in this matchup to begin with, so it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. It's in a way overly safe. Overly safe. As third base is now on the way for Wayne. Again, just hatch gas pool. This reminds me of Homeowner. Homeowner, he does something similar. When he goes Rax Expand, he goes CC on the high ground in ZVT. Which again is crazy. But it's just like very safe. It does feel like a ladder build as we're going for a third CC before Starport. Economic build here by Milky Cow for the first time doing this variation with an economic setup. And again, like because he's making use of this of the low ground buildings, like he's able to have a wall early on as well, so he's very secure. Now this is, I would say, very weak against Roach Ravager play, just because, I mean, we've spoken about this before. This is one of the weaknesses of 2Rax Reaper, for example, is that your production is exposed, right? The factory is on the low ground. It looks like we're actually already getting ready for that though. We actually float, we have the starport in the main and we float the racks all the way into the main as well. So I was about to say that usually the production will be exposed because it's all going to be on the low ground, but Milky Cow, he takes that into consideration and he sets up the rest of his production in the main. It's in a way inefficient because it has to float over, but it is in a way safer. It's still vulnerable to Roach Ravager just because the factory is exposed, but at least the racks in the starport are not. Lings, they poke out, they attempt to delay, and it looks like they they do not. Speaking of roaches, Roach one's on the way for Wayne. Again, it makes sense for Wayne to attempt to maybe even try to punish this. As Hellions poke in. Here we go. Does pull away. Oh, does pull away. Guiding back, picking up some tumors. Wayne getting into his own roach-based opener. Once again, just like last game, Wayne, he's not droning. He does cut workers early on. 16 Lings on the way. Wayne, he's going for the push. He's going for the all-in. We saw something very similar last game as well. And again, I believe one of the reasons for this is because so much production is at the natural. So much production is exposed. If you can break down this wall, if you can break the natural, you can break the production and end the game. Anyway, Hellions, they bust into the mineral and they get surrounded. They get 4 drone kills, decent damage. But here comes the Roach Ravager. I say Roach Ravager, no Ravagers, just Roaches. The Roaches, their goal here is to knock down that wall. Boys, they're being pulled. So far, decent repairs. Repairs, they hold the line. Bunkers on the way as well. Lings are flooding in. And the wall is solid so far. He defends. Yeah, Milky Cow, he defends. He does deflect. Again, the repairs are good enough. Banshee's in position. And now Wayne drones. And this is similar to game 2. These drones are late. The drones, the workers, they're late. They're delayed. Milky Cow, he does hold. He does defend. He's in a better position. Now getting into his own bio. And Banshees, they punish the Roaches, and now they move out for a counterattack. Spore's not ready. The Spores are not ready. Banshees, they're popping off. We get 1, 2, 3. Can we get up to 4? We can. 4 drones go down. 5 drones even. 5 drone kills. Heading over towards the gases. Getting even more damage. Getting up to 6, 7, 8, 9. Can we get up to 10? We can. Oh my god, so close. 10. Oh, does overextend. One Banshee does go down, but does still get 12 drones, getting up to 13. Lings, they will delay the third base, but alas, Wayne economically here is struggling. I mean, his droning was already delayed, but the Banshees, they wreak havoc. Back at home, third base now being taken. Milky Cow looking very comfortable. Looking very secure. And similarly to on Frostline, the pressure is now on Wayne to recover. To bounce back. Oh, double infestation bits. So Wayne, he's flustered. Making some mistakes. I mean, it is a rough position to be in. Oh, coming in for the surround. Nice movement with the SCVs. But more Lings have arrived. Milky Cow, he commits across the map. SCVs are going to be falling, getting 3, 4, 5 SCV kills. But Wayne, he wants the expansion. He wants the fourth. He's going to get it. Yeah, there's barely an army. Yeah, there's no army left. Lings, they bust into the natural. At the same time, fourth base goes down. Wayne, he's getting SCVs though. That's a lot of workers falling. Milky, he has to keep going. He has to commit. He has to commit into the third. Otherwise, this just won't be worth it. 16 SCV kills. Milky Cow, he does push forward, but we have more Lings on the way. Has he taken too long? So far, kites well. Does kite well. Takes down the roaches. Getting 1, getting 2. Has to keep going. Catching out a queen. And more Lings are on the way. Getting another roach up just barely. Another roach goes down. Nice kiting. And Milky Cow, he's done it. At this point, he's done it. He has broken the back of Wayne. Again, it's been a shaky game here. Very shaky, very back and forth. Milky Cow, he just rallies across the map. Lings are trickling in. GG gets called. And Milky Cow will take the series 2-1, taking down Wayne. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And Milky Cow with a very unorthodox style. Very unorthodox, specifically his opener. And I don't blame Wayne for responding the way that he did. I do think that Wayne had to either commit harder or take a different approach. Like both on Frostline and here on Leylines as well, we had Milky Cow go for that low ground CC build, and we had Wayne try to punish him with roaches. But I say tried to punish him, he cut workers, he flooded with Lings, but he never morphed in any Ravagers, and he didn't commit as hard to it because he didn't morph in any Ravagers. Without Ravagers, he couldn't really break the natural base on Frostline or on Leylines either. Because of that, the aggression failed. He was forced to re-drone, and again, it was already an all-in to begin with, so just very just not very committed play, very uncommitted there, very difficult to, oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? Indecisive, there we go. Very indecisive there from Wayne in both games, and as a result, he fell behind, right? He fell behind. Either we all in or we don't all in, and it was very middle of the road, and because of that, Milky Cow, he defended, he took a further lead, he skyrocketed out of hand, out of control, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Milky Cow, he does take the series. Very impressive play there by Milky Cow, but I do think a lot of Wayne's responses are most likely because he was having a really hard time reacting to the build of his opponent, to the setup, right? Again, like, I don't blame Wayne for initially going into roaches and for committing initially, because you feel the urge to try to punish the low ground setup. Like, there's so much potential. As we were mentioning at the time, if Wayne breaks a natural, he can end the game. He can end the game then and there. But again, indecision there from Wayne. GG. GG, well played. With that, Milky Cow, he will claim the series. And with that, we are now halfway through the broadcast. We are now 3 rounds in, and we have 3 rounds to go. We're going to be going on a short break. We just wrapped up 3 best of 3s. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have the second half of the broadcast. We'll be returning here with our next matchup. It is going to be Nicoract versus Nikich in a ZVT. Oh boy. So we'll see you guys after the break, as when we return, we'll have another Terran versus Zerg matchup. See you soon. See you soon after the break. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we've returned. We've returned here with the second half of the broadcast. The second half here of Fire Cup number 9, the group stage. For those that are curious, this is a monthly tournament, and usually we cast it live. Usually we are live casting this event. As some people have taken note in the chat, this is a replay cast, as this event was actually coinciding and overlapping with the Hispanic StarCraft League. Last weekend we were busy casting the Hispanic StarCraft League. We were focusing on another event, on another cast. As a result, we weren't able, I mean, we can't cast 2 events at once. So I would love to, but we weren't able to, so we're catching up on last week's tournament, on last week's Fire Cup. Let's go. Let us go again. Shout out to MinoVK for hosting this event, for making this event a reality, and we have our second half of the broadcast here. We're jumping into another TVZ. We just featured Milky Cow versus Wayne. Now we are here to feature some of the other players in this group. Nicoract and Nikich. We featured Nikich earlier in the broadcast in a series up against Strange. It was a very strange one, very intense, very back and forth. But now we have our fresh best of 3, jumping to game 1, jumping into Ultra Love. Let's go. Jumping into Ultra Love. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we are this again. Goddamn. God damn it. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our red Terran player for the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player from Atlanta, Belarus, representing Alien Esports. It is Nikich. We have Nico up against Nico. Let's go. God damn it. There's a lot of Nikos out there. A lot of them. As we are going to be settling in. So far, so good. Now, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a very different kind of dynamic this time. We had Milky Cow with some very unorthodox builds and unorthodox playstyles. We should be seeing something more standard when it comes to the openers, and already 2-Rax Reaper. 2-Rax Reaper out of Nicoract, setting up on the low ground. Now, Nicoract is very aggressive and very assertive in this matchup. We see a lot of 2 base all-ins and 3 base all-ins in TVZ from the side of Nicoract, and he can be quite successful with it as well. You can know that aggression is coming your way and still have a hard time defending against it. So far, 2-Rax Reaper, this is not an all-in, but this is an aggressive start. Now, this is designed to contain the Zerg player, to punish the third, and to take an economic lead as a result. Maybe pick off some Lings, maybe pick off some, maybe Lings more than anything. We shouldn't be getting any worker damage, we shouldn't be getting any queens. This is just to delay the economy of the Zerg, and this leads into a 2-on-1. Typically, there are different variations. I mean, Beyond, he did explore this a lot 2 years ago when he did popularize this build. This can lead into 3-Rax Reaper, this can lead into 4-Rax stim timings, 3-1-1s, 2-1-1s, 3CC 2-1-1. There's a lot of variations here when it comes to set follow-up. For now, the Overlord does confirm 2 Raxes. Now, it's going to be on Nikich here to confirm whether or not there's a 3rd Rax as well in the main. This could be 3-Rax Reaper for all he knows. This could be more committed, as Reapers are now moving out. There it is. There's that CC on the natural, on location. Reapers a fan out, and Nikich so far is going to be contained on 2 bases. He does stay in gas. Oh, big sign, big tell here for Nikich. He does stay in gas. Now, if he stays in gas, to me at least, this screams Bane Bust. There are ways, I know that Shin, he pulverized, oh, never mind, the other one. Not a Bane Bust, a Roach Rush. Now, this is designed to not just defend, but remember, as I mentioned before, 2-Rax Reaper contains and denies the 3rd. So Nikich, he's saying, hey, if I'm going to be stuck on 2 bases anyway, let's turn this into 2-base aggression, into borderline 2-base all in here. So Nikich is rushing into Roaches. It's going to be on Nicoract to confirm what's going on. Right now, he's successfully delaying, but oh, that is a 3rd CC before anything else. So 3 CC 2-on-1. Very greedy build. That means the factory is delayed, the starport is delayed, and that means that these Roaches have even more potential for damage. Link speed is almost done. Nicoract, you can see, he's checking for the 3rd base. He has not gone into the main yet. He doesn't know what's happening. Not yet. Queens are keeping up. Queens are zoning. The Queens, they take a lot of hits, they take a lot of damage. Roach production has begun. And again, Nikich, he can just flood Lings behind this. It's all or nothing, and Nicoract, he has no idea what's going on, and now he's getting into stim, marine production, no bunker, factory still on the way, so no Hellions, no Cyclones, no tanks, no Banshees, no nothing. Again, this is lining up. This is best case scenario for Nikich. And the Reapers don't even see this coming. He doesn't see the roaches. Nicoract, he raced back home to avoid the lings, and that means Nicoract, he sees nothing. Sees nothing else of what's going on. Now Nikich, he does expand and he is droning behind this, but honestly, Nikich, he could just keep making lings and he could just end the game here. He could just end the game. We'll see. Now that he's pivoting away, now that he's deviating away from this, is he going to have enough to break through? Bunkers being thrown down reactively. No Ravagers. Just two now morphing in. One Roach does fall. Biles will zone away. So far, we aren't really getting much done here. The wall is solid. Roaches are going down. Nicoract, he's holding on. And Nicoract is holding. This is actually reminding me a lot of Wayne versus Milky Cow. I mentioned at the time where Wayne, he was very indecisive when it came to how aggressive he wanted to be. It's similar here as well. Like, if Nikich, if he committed to a 2-base all-in, like, I feel like he could have killed Nicoract. But again, he's droning, he's expanding, he's pivoting away from this, he's working on a later game state, and now Nicoract is in a very strong position. Now Nicoract, he defends, Stim is almost done, he gets away with a third CC, he gets away with the late factory, with late starport. Nicoract is in a beautiful position, and suddenly Nikich is hurting. Suddenly Nikich, things are looking rough here, things looking dire. His workers are late, his third base is late, he's now working towards a lair, now taking gases. It's going to be a rough road to travel here for Nikich. Not going to be easy, not impossible, but yeah, it's going to be a tough road nonetheless. From here, Nicoract, he does hold, he does survive. Reapers, they poke in. They get eyes on the follow-up, and it looks like they will. Yeah, they do come from the third. That's all he needed to know. So far, lack of saturation, but there are still a couple of drones on the way. Double Evo chamber for upgrades tells us that Nikich most likely is just going to drone. He's just going to drone, just going to saturate. Nicoract just has a turtle up back at home. Stim is done, getting into combat shields. And now Nikich, he does get eyes on the third. So Nikich is turning this into a 2-base all-in. He is saturating his natural, yes, but he does not saturate the third base. Once again, we do see Nikich commit into a second round or a second all-in. But he did stumble his way here. He gets supply blocked. Again, Nikich, he can still pull this off. I do think that committing to an all-in is the correct call, just because it's been a really rough start. Scan reveals lack of saturation, but now Nikich is droning. So Nikich is not too confident in this. He's pivoting away. He is now droning up. Now he does force Nicoract to evacuate. Nicoract, he believes it's an all-in, and it was, but now it's not. Right now, Nikich, he drones, he saturates, infestation is on the way. Because this Nicoract, he does overreact. So this is doing some damage in a sense. As you can see, Jesus, Nicoract, he's heavily oversaturated. He's waiting for the all-in, an all-in that is no longer coming. Double drop into the main. Oh, true, the mind games. As Marines, they bust into the main base, they're going for the spawning pool. Biles, they will connect, but the spawning pool does get picked off. Massive pick off here. Nice catch here from Nicoract. Likewise, he can also try to poke in and try to get eyes on the saturation. Yep, sees a gas geyser. Yep, scans. He sees full saturation at the third. He's like, hold up, what the hell just happened? What's going on? And now he knows he can freely saturate his third and now push out. Now he does known as hold up. You just invested into workers. That means your army should be lacking, and it is. The army here for Nikich is quite small. Nicoract stims in. Dusts him forward. We have more Ravagers on the way. Ravagers are being targeted down one after the other. Tank shots going off. Tanks, they survive. And Nikich is going to try to hold on here. It's not going to be easy. He does have 14 more roaches on the way. With those 14 roaches, he should be able to hold on. I say that there's still 4 tanks, though. Yeah, the tank and this brutal army stims in, does focus on the Ravagers, one after the other. There's 2 Ravagers left. Bit of an overextension there from Nicoract. But he's still pushing forward. Still trying to gain more ground. Get only 2 Ravagers. Yeah, fighting within range of the tanks. Oh my god, the Roaches, they just get annihilated. And Nicoract, he's done it. He just snowballs out of control from here. Again, Nikich, time and time again, his just droning was so heavily delayed. Attempted all-ins were failed. GG gets called, and Nicoract will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. He will take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Nikich can recover and bounce back as we load into game number 2. Let's go. And again, like Nikich, it did feel like he was just very indecisive when it came to how he wanted to approach things. I do believe that there was a big opportunity for him at the start of the game, though, to commit into a Roach Ravager Ling all-in. But again, he did pivot away from it. He did decide to drone, and I feel like he missed his opportunity. And from there, things very quickly snowballed out of hand and out of control in favor of Nicoract. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline. We have our red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Belarus, representing Alien Esports, down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. It is Nikich. We go. Some players are building up. This time Nicoract setting up on the high ground. This time there is no 2-Axe Reaper. This time a much more standard opener instead. Going for a Rax Expand. Going for a Rax Expand. Likewise, Hatch Gas pull out of Nikich. This time Nikich, he should have a much more comfortable start. He's not going to be as tempted to commit into roaches and to counterattack or anything crazy like that. Should be able to calm down. Should be able to calm down and settle in. This is a CC on location. And in a more comfortable game state, we'll see how Nikich can compare. Now, once again, just winding it back, I was talking earlier at the start of the series how Nicoract is very aggressive in this matchup. I do stand by that. I mean, we kind of saw that in the last game. But Nicoract, he does often go for like very strong 2-base timings, 3-base timings. Like that is what he is known for. In saying that, Frostline is a much larger map in the map pool, so these kind of timing attacks and these pushes are weaker on a larger map like Frostline. So we'll see if Nicoract can bring this all together and still pull this off. We'll see if he does take a different approach. Likewise, we'll see if Nikich can be more comfortable and look more dominant here, or just have a cleaner early to mid game now that we do enter a larger map like Frostline. We'll see. Nicoract, he does dance with the army. Getting 1 link so far, nothing major. He does pull away. Just poking, prodding, looking for a tumor. Being so annoying. He wants that tumor. Oh, tumor gets thrown down. Now we have a second queen. Oh, he wants it. Oh, 1 more shot. He will not get it when he gets punished for it. Yeah, a little bit too greedy there from Nicoract. He wanted that tumor. Alas, he gets punished. He gets denied. And it is tempting as a Zerg player to, like, okay, you snipe the Reaper, throw it in a Roach Horn, like, right, like throw it in a Roach Horn, make Ravagers, just send it across the map, but we drone. Nikich, he's droning, he's saturating, we're calming down, we're settling in. Ooh, speaking of calming down, 1-1-1, no third CC. We spoke earlier, I mean, I did mention at the start of the series and even the start of this game how Nicoract, he's very fond of aggressive builds, and this is one of them. 111 into BC. Now the goal here is not to go for a BC for economic damage. Typically the way that Nicoract does this is that he built up his Hellions and his goal is to dive on the queens, and if he's able to reset the queen count, then the BC will kill everything. So the goal here is to kill the queens, is to break the main army, is to just brute force the issue here and break Nikich. It's a very devastating kind of build, and it can get out of hand. Not many other players do this, but it is a bit of a signature move for Nicoract. So BC Hellion. This does go into bio, by the way. This is not a mech composition or a mech build, but very, very aggressive though. And it's going to be very dedicated. So mass Hellion BC. First BC's on the way. We have a Roach Run in production for Nikich. Now, Nikich, I'm sure he's familiar with this build, but he hasn't scattered yet. He hasn't seen anything as the Overlord got sniped earlier, so Nikich is in the dark. He's playing blind. And Nicoract, he's getting ready. He's gearing up as that first battlecruiser is halfway done. Now, how many queens? 7. Decent queen count if they all come together. That's the thing, right? Like right now we have queens in each base is injecting. If they all come together, then we can pull off a defense. Second starport, 2-port BC. Okay, I was not quite expecting that. As we said, Lynn, yo, a big shout out to Gemini GGE Mini in the chat. God, my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great, I almost said ladder session. Hope you had a great cast. I knew you were covering the all things Prolos Team League. Here comes the BC. Here comes a dive. Yeah, BC on top of the queens. First 2 queens get surrounded. No transfuse. 1 queen goes down. Second queen goes down. And Nicoract is snowballing out of control. Already 2 queens falling. We're down to 5 queens. 5 queens left. Roaches are waddling in. Once again, we're targeting down the queens. Down goes a 3rd queen. Oh my God. Yeah, workers, they do line up, getting 11 drone kills. Diving on another queen. That's going to be the 4th queen going down. And now the 5th. And where are the queens? They're all dead. They're all gone. As the final queens are getting picked up. Likewise, 12 drone kills. That's how many queens left. That's the final queen. 0 queens remaining. And Nicoract, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of Nikich. Gets into the mineral line, 18 drone kills. The BC does reign supreme. Again, the goal of this build was to reset the queen count. He killed every single queen, and we're making 2 more behind this. Again, 2-port BC. He's an animal. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, Fatty. Not like this. As Nikich has been broken, you can see he's desperately just moving out across the map. But again, he's going to run into defensive BCs, and nothing shoots up. Nothing does shoot up here. We have a Hydrogen on the way to help survive, help defend. I did mention how this is going to be bio, but I mean, for now, it's just purely BC Hellion. No other upgrades. Hellions have burst out more drones. 28 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Lings, they just cannot engage. Hellions have control here of the 3rd. And now they're diving into the natural as well. Again, there's barely an economy to begin with. Oh no, they're trapped. Oh no, they're trapped. They're locked in. 8 more drones. They line up. The barbecue is real. And remember, this isn't even Nicoract's final form, because what does he have? He has 3 battlecruisers back at home. Boys being pulled to repair. 14 workers go down. We have 40 workers remaining. And sure, we have a hydrogen. Sure, we have access to some anti-air, but here comes the BCs. Oh god, GG gets called. The teleport does not complete, and Nicoract will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Nicoract will claim the series. Very, very aggressive play here from Nicoract. Again, this is what he's known for. And unfortunately, Nikich, he just was unprepared. He was not able to scout. As a reminder, the first Overlord was sniped, so he didn't get into the main base. He never saw the 111. He never saw the BCs coming his way. GG. GG, well played. With that, Nicoract, he will claim the series. And once again, a shout out to Gemini. Hope you enjoyed the All Things Protoss Team League cast. Were you covering the Gooners, Pappy? How did the Gooners do? And the cinque fromage? The 5 cheese? The 5 cheese. Let's go. Nicoract has been watching the off race All Things Protoss Terran Strategies. Oh no. Is that a thing? Is that a spoiler of things to come? Who's playing Terran? I think is Goblin off racing as Terran? Maybe. But GG. GG, well played. With that, Nicoract does claim it, and we are getting ready for our next matchup, for our next series here. We have round 4 underway. We have a ZVP between Wayne and Shameless. Let's go. Shameless, of course, a player that we have yet to feature here tonight. Shameless, I believe he wasn't the runner-up. He was, I believe, the 3rd placing player last month. For those that are just tuning in for the first time, this is a monthly tournament. It's a monthly tournament here, the Fire Cup number 9, our 9th monthly tournament. So far, we are in the group stage, and last month, Strange was the champion. Strange had a very dominant performance. Wayne was the runner-up, and I believe Shameless had come 3rd place. And we do have a little bit of a history between Shameless and Wayne, so we'll see how this does unfold. As I believe it was Fire Cup number 7, where these were the 2 finalists. Like Shameless and Wayne, I believe they were both the 2 finalists in Fire Cup number 7. Now they face off here in the group stage. And here we go. We have our best of 3. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Erahome, we have the yellow Zurich player himself. It is last month's runner-up, Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy, last month's 3rd placing player. It is Shameless. Was he 3rd place? No, sorry. No, my apologies. It wasn't last month. It was number 7, correct? Double checking. No, not number. Was it number 6? Was it number 5? Gee, am I? Where has my memory gone? Gee, time flies. Yeah, number 5. There we go. I was like, oh yeah, he came 2nd place in number 7. He came 2nd place number 5. This was what, back in January? Back in December, the December edition of Fire Cup. It's been a while. All the months, they all blend together when casting StarCraft. Aye. So, Shameless, he's December's finalist, which is quite some time away, is what I will say. Quite some time away. So, it's been a while since said edition. And we'll see how they do compare. So far, standard openers, hatch gas pool. Likewise, welcome one and all to Erahome. Erahome is one of the smaller maps, or is the smallest map in the tournament map pool. It is the rush map, very short rush distance by ground. Likewise, very difficult to defend 3rd base location here. I mean, there is a choke point you can take advantage of. Likewise, there's a ramp coming into the triangular 3rd. There's also a choke point in the center. There are certain positions where you can take a greater fight defensively, but it can be very difficult to actually maintain these positions, very difficult to defend, just because of the rush distance by ground. All-ins are favored here, and we see a lot of all-ins on Erahome. Question becomes, who's going to be the aggressor? Who will be the aggressor here? Do we see Wayne cut workers, start out an early roach run and go for a roach rush? Do we see a German taxi? Likewise, do we have a Twilight Council opener out of Shameless? Where are we headed? Where are we dropping? Let's go. So now it's going to be the initial Stargate from our Protoss player. Stargate opener out of our Protoss. Meanwhile, Wayne just getting his 3rd, joining it up, saturating his bases. So far, so good. As we are nearing the end of the broadcast, we have 2 series remaining here tonight. Before going to bed, we do have another cast in a couple of hours. It is going to be in 5.5 hours. In 5.5 hours time, we're going to be live once again with the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. I'm hoping I can get a couple of hours sleep before the cast. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping. But we'll see. Depends how long these final 2 series are going to be. Shameless, he does shade in. Does shade into the main. So far, good reaction by Wayne. He walls up with the Eva Chamber. Sport Crawler is being thrown down. And Shameless doesn't really achieve too much with this. Does shade into the natural, though. He gets 1 drone, gets 2. 2 workers going down, punishing Wayne for cutting Lings. Getting a 3rd, but not quite a 4th. So 3 drones for 2 adepts. I would say a better trade for Wayne. He does defend well, does deflect. Spores finishing up in the main base, and the queens are in position here at the natural. Despite that, oh, wants a drone. Gets one. Gets one. Gets up. Barely two. And 3 worker kills, not bad. The Oracle will escape. 6 in total. Lanes at the same time they counterattack, but I believe the second Oracle does arrive in time to defend and to protect the third. Third base does take a lot of damage, takes a lot of hits, but the Oracle is here in time. Deflects the Lings. Oracle does deflect. Early Evo Chamber out of Wayne. This should be +1 melee. +1 melee here from our yellow Zerg. Likewise, standard follow-up out of his Shameless, going into +1, going into a Twilight Council. This is so refreshing. We'll see if we can get there, because Wayne is link flooding, by the way. Wayne, he's link flooding. We have +1 melee on the way. He's rushing towards that third base. He wants to force the cancel. He wants to deny the third. We'll see if he can. It's a big investment here by Wayne, as Wayne does cut workers early. Lings, they rotate over towards the third. Oracle does respond. The Adept taking a lot of hits. But there's a full wall. Yeah, there's a full wall behind this. Shameless, he defends. And again, Wayne, he's falling a little bit behind here. He did cut workers to make this happen, and so far it was not worth it. He gets 1 probe. Just the 1. But for those who weren't here earlier, we have covered quite a number of PvZs tonight. We covered Strange versus Nikich and Art versus Young Yakov. And at no point in that series did... Oh, never mind. God damn it. I was going to say, at no point in that series did we see Stargate opener into +1 into Blink. Like, into like a standard game state. Like, this is a bit of more of a rarer sight tonight. And even then, it's not Blink. It's going into +1 in charge, into an early charge timing into Chargel Archon. Okay, so much more aggressive here by Shameless. And this does make sense. We mentioned earlier that aggression is favored on Erahome. And speaking of, I mean, I'm sure that's why Wayne did commit so hard. Wayne, he's unsuccessful with his Ling round by, and Shameless is going for his own earlier charge timing as well. It's going to be off of 3-base economy and 3-base saturation, that is true, but this will still hit very hard and very fast. It's going to be on Wayne to survive this. He throws down his Roach Horn. Again, this is a bit of a later Roach Horn timing here from Wayne. Oh. Oracle takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Oracles, he wants the Queen. We'll get it. 1 queen, takes down 2 drones as well before pulling out. That's damage here from Shameless. Meanwhile, Chargelots are amassing, Archons as well. We're getting ready for that push. Getting ready for that move out. As Link's out, I mean, Wayne, he does confirm, he is aware, roaches are building up. Now, as Shameless moves out, Lings are moving in. These are the Lings that were built earlier, and they might still find some damage. Should they force a recall? As for now, just a defensive warp in. Shameless, he commits. He just commits. He's moving out. Back at home, shield battery goes down. Zelsi are defending. Oh, the queens are exposed. Diving on the queens. 1 queen does not go down. Okay, nice save. Does pull away in time. Roaches have built up. There's not enough zealots. Not enough charge lots. Shameless, he has to pull away. The oracles are under fire. Uh-oh. Does leave them idle. Couple of adepts take shade into the natural. 1 oracle goes down. And Wayne holds. Wayne, he does hold on. Shameless, he does miss his timing, does miss his opportunity here. Prism just now arrives as a late war prism. He can still pull this off though. But once again, another Ling run by. And now the Roach army is building up. Now we're just getting a larger and larger Roach force. Wayne is that much more secure. Lings are caught out there. Lings are caught. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. See, I made the mistake of being like, oh, maybe some Uber Eats has arrived. You know, just getting this food. It's making me hungry now. I just no. Not like this. The army is building up. Getting into double immortal production. The storm is on the way. Shameless is gearing up towards a longer game state. The aggression earlier has failed. And we'll see how Wayne does approach this. Wayne is also just droning, saturating. Infestation bits on the way. He's taking up towards Hive, towards Vipers, towards Lurkers. for slowing things down. Despite both players being aggressive in their own ways, that has kind of fallen by the wayside, whether it comes to the first charge timing or the initial link flood from Wayne. Now we're just slowing things down. Slowing down. Hive is on the way again. That's going to be for Lurker Tech, and I was going to say for Lurkers and for Vipers, but that's a massive Doom Drop that's being set up here. Wayne making 6 Dropper-Lords. Likewise moving out through the center with purely Roach Hydra. Wayne, he cannot fight this army head on though, and I don't think he really intends to. You know, massive Zealot charge, or just charge up, warping across the map. Getting into the mineral line. Last not quite getting much done. You know, Wayne going for his own Doom Drop as well. So far, unscouted. Zealots, they are getting some drones at the natural. Oh my god. Main army gets caught. But here comes that Doom Drop. I believe there's still a recall available. Is that recall? Shameless catching out some roaches. Yeah, decent engagements. You know, drop lords into the main. Likewise, drop lords also in towards the 4th. Shameless out of position. Does it recall? So let's go for the warp in. He can buy some time. Contamination here on the forge on +3. Nice contamination. Probes are going to be going down. And he's racing back home. He's racing back home, racing back into the main. He's being torn apart here. Probes are going down left and right. And Wayne, he has control of the main base. He depowers the Stargate. Even snipes it. Fleet Beacon was on the way, but now there's no Sky Toss. Likewise, Wayne moving in. Does take a storm to the face. Does take a storm. 13 probe kills. Nice damage. Oh, Wayne is getting caught out though. Please add a couple of units. Please add a couple of Hydras. Drop lords back in towards the natural. They do get spotted. Not much anti-air. Remember, there's no blink. No blink. Drop getting into the mineral line, getting more probe kills. And Seamus just can't keep up. Nice stasis though. Stasis Trap does buy some time. But Wayne, now his hive is done. Now lurker upgrades are on the way. He can morph in his lurkers. We got drop lords in every single mineral line. Shameless getting pulled apart. There's another mothership on the way. Likewise trying to move in, but the 4th base is going to be broken. Takes down the mineral line. 13 probes going down in the base as well. That's all that Wayne needed. Across the map, we do have some charge loss moving in. Oh, going for the Lurker 10. Looks like they will snipe it, not bad. Lurker 10 goes down. Wayne pushing in, Shameless moving in. He has so many immortals. It's insane. He's got 10 immortals. It's crazy. With 10 immortals, he can break a siege line of lurkers. But lastly, he has no economy, right? He has no 4th expansion. He does have a decent worker count, but he's heavily oversaturated. Shameless, he has no longevity in this game. Another drop into the main. And Shameless is being forced all in. Just being forced all in at this point. He has no economy. He has no bases. More workers going down. And he has to end the game with this army. Now, it is a hefty force, don't get me wrong. There's 10 Immortals, 4 Archons, 5 High Templar, each with at least 1 Storm. This army can get a lot done. Bearing in mind, Lurkers are not ready yet, which means only 3 Lurkers to defend. I mean, not even. They're across the map. So 0 Lurkers. Oh no! High Templar get caught out. 2 High Templar go down. 3 left. Another High Templar falls down to 2. So just a brutal start to the fight here for Shameless. Now he's moving in. More Hydras on the way. If he was able to preserve this High Templar, then he'd be okay, but yeah, the High Templar forced him morph into Archons. Hydras, they come in to reinforce. We set up a surround. And this is all that Shameless has left. Boys are being pulled. Chargers, they do come in to reinforce though. Can he still do this? Shameless takes down the Hydras, takes down the Queens. Stutter steps forward. Wow, and even without the storms, he's doing this. He busts on in. Shameless, he was forced into the all-in, but happy, it's arrow home. He can all in, true. He can't pull this off. He needs more weapons, or he needs more reinforcements. There we go, Zelsei coming from behind. They barely come in to reinforce. There's Cloak. Cloak gets activated. Immortals are pushing forward into the main. Zelsei gets surrounded. Zelsei are surrounded. But the natural is compromised, and there's barely an army remaining here. A couple of roaches are trickling in into Immortals. Rough trades here for the Zerg, for Wayne. Losing every roach. Oh my god. GG gets called. Shameless, he busts on through, and Shameless takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive here. Again, Shameless, he was torn apart. He was losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line. He had no economy. He was completely all in. But remember, because he sniped sniping the lurkers, the lurker den, I should say, was the game-winning move. Like, imagine if he tried to go for that all in, and there were what, 5 up to 7 lurkers waiting back at home. He doesn't break through. He doesn't move in. Like, suddenly it's a much more difficult all in there for Shameless. But he sniped the lurker den, and we saw that there were no lurkers as a result. The lurker den was still being rebuilt as the all in was happening, so there was just no lurkers to respond for Wayne. It was purely a couple of roaches and mainly Hydra to defend instead. And we saw that Shameless, even with limited storms, he had enough. Did have enough. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Shameless, who will take game 1, and now we're getting to game number 2. And we'll see if Wayne can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. Again, that's what we're hoping for, but the pressure is on. As spawning in the right hand corner of Starchild, we have the yellow Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy, leading the series 1-0. It is Shameless. We go. Getting into that second game. We're dropping in. And again, the last game was very intense, very back and forth. They both had their moments, of course, especially when it came to Wayne just pulling his opponent apart with the drop lord play, with the lurkers, with the run-bys as well. It's very impressive. But alas, it wasn't enough. It's not enough in the end. And we'll see how Wayne will approach this time. As welcome, we go from two extremes, the smallest map in the tournament map pool to the largest map. Welcome 1-0 to Starchild. Starchild is, of course, one of the larger macro maps in the map pool. One of the older maps as well, from TLMC 17, not 20. As a result, we see a lot of longer games. Now, it is still a little bit different compared to some of the macro maps in the current ladder map pool, for example. Even though there's a large base count, even though the map is large, I will say that this map is more accessible. Maybe not as extreme as Frostline, but regardless, rocks, they can be knocked down. Bases are a little bit more accessible when it comes to run-bys, when it comes to counterattacks, when it comes to army rotations. So it is more difficult to turtle on Starchild compared to Abyssal Reef, Neo Violet Square, King's Cove. Compared to the older ladder maps. Here we go, Cybercore is done, getting into our take of choice. As a reminder, last game, Shameless did go for a Stargate opener into +1 and charge for an early charge timing, which wasn't really too successful into, later, like Charge or Immortal Storm, Archon. There's that Stargate for Shameless. And likewise, Wayne, just droning, just saturating, building up. go. Oh, as we did have a bit of a pause. So far we're settling in. Last game was Shameless pausing, this time Wayne. The Uber Eats has arrived. Has arrived. Let's go. Let's go. So far, Shameless just poking in. No major damage here, just poking and prodding. Wayne is keeping up. So far, just droning. There's no early Evo chamber, no early tech. As he hasn't pulled back into gas. So far, just standard game. So far, so good. Now, when it comes to getting into our standard game state, I do expect to see Shameless not going into charge this time. I do believe that one of the big reasons why charge was chosen as the follow-up tech from Shameless was the size of the map. Now that we load into a larger map, something like an early charge timing is weaker on Star Child. So we expect Blink. I'm not saying that's what will happen, but just what we're expecting to see. We'll see if Shameless does deviate. Likewise, Wayne just droning. He may just go for a faster lair for delayed roaches into Ling Hydra. Not uncommon to skip roaches on larger maps as well, to cut corners and be more efficient. Roaches are usually a safe way to play, but if you don't expect your opponent to be aggressive, then roaches aren't necessary. As Lings, they poke in across the map, third is being taken. And there is that Twilight Council alongside the Forge. So standard follow-up here by Shameless. Again, we're expecting Blink, but we'll keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, early Evo Chamber out of Wayne. It's Evo Chamber first. It should be plus on melee into Ling Hydra. As you mentioned, there's a higher chance here that Wayne does skip roaches. Just because of the map itself. Shameless moving in. They come in for this round, they get one adept. Meanwhile, transferring workers get caught. Adepts say shade into the main. Getting one, getting two. Nothing major though, just 2 drone kills. Oracles, they come in to clean up though. Decent target farming, they get 4 drones in total. They don't get a 5th. They get zoned away, and Wayne defends. Wayne, he does hold, does cost him 6 workers, but I believe that was for 6 workers for 5 adepts. Not the worst trade for Wayne. Behind this, droning, saturating. Again, there's that melee upgrade. Lair is on the way. No Roach Warren. Ooh, this I was not expecting though. Shameless. Calm down. I mean, like, first things first, as Lings, they do threaten the third. First things first, +1 and Blink. Again, that is to be expected, but the rush into the Fleet Beacon, that is not. Cheeky move here from Shameless. It looks like this is a Mothership rush. Now, the goal should be to build up a ground-based army, not to rush into Tempest or Carrier, but to build up that ground army to go for the Mothership, maybe reinforce with sentries, and then recall across the map. That's what I assume. I believe this Mothership rush was very trendy at the start of the patch. I'm referring to November and December of last year, especially amongst the European Protoss players. It didn't really become too popular amongst the Korean Protosses, I will say that. But it is a build that we see every now and then. As Lings poke in, as I mentioned, Ling Hydra out of Wayne. Now Wayne is keeping up. Here comes that Mothership. For now, for the time being, the Mothership is actually looking to join up with the main army. So instead of going for a recall across the map, we might just see just a main push, just like a frontal assault. We'll see how this all comes together. As the Oracles, they get into the bases. They get their revelations off. They confirm the hydrogen. They confirm the lack of Roach Warren. Jesus. Did you see that? For a second there, we had annual pulse crystals on the way. That was crazy. Does cancel, thankfully, going into charge. Temple Archives. I mean, there's a lot of tech on the way, so this tells us that we're not going for an early push. Mothership has arrived, but Shameless is building up towards later upgrades. Meanwhile, Wayne, he's cutting workers. He does cut workers at 73. That is, what, just under 4 base saturation. Building up his Ling Hydra. And the Mothership is going to be used as a more defensive tool here. No moving out. Mothership is revealed. Wayne going for 2 pushes at once. He has 2 armies. He has one towards the left, one towards the right. Distract Shameless at the same time, does collapse here on top of the third base, going for the cannons. Cannons are going down, they're trying to buy time. Shameless, he has to respond to this. He responds with a couple of Stalkers. Tells leave his main army at the fourth. More lanes are fighting forward. I feel like Shameless has underreacted. Where the Storm about to finish, is still on the way. Yo, we got the Slowlots. Slowlots come in. And Stalkers, they do get here in time. Yeah, Shameless, he defends the fourth. He cannot focus on the main army. Oh, that's going to be a kill on the expansion. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it does feel like Shameless, he did underreact here to the third. But at the same time, he does snipe every single Hydra. Oh my god, expensive trade here for Wayne. I'm afraid to look how many Hydras just went down. 20, geez, 22. 22 Hydras. The efficiency here, especially gas-wise. So Shameless, he does hold. Now he has Storm. Storm is done. He does transfer all his workers over. Did lose a base, but does take the probes. And Wayne is not stopping. Remember earlier we mentioned how Wayne, he cut workers at 73. He has not droned up. He has not droned up to 80, which means he's also not taking gases and he's not teching into Hive. So there's no infestation bit, no lurkers, no Hive. This is basically a lair all-in. Of just a Ling Hydra lair base all-in out of Wayne. There's no further tech. He could be working towards a Hive, towards lurkers, but he's not. And Storms, they're popping up. They shut down the Lings. They force back the Hydras. The Storms are brutal. And Wayne, he's gonna lose everything here. Yeah, he cannot take this fight. The Storms are insane. So they'll run by across the map. A couple of probes do go down. But this main Hydra force just cannot gain any ground here. Not against this kind of army. Not against the mothership. Not against all these Stalkers. And again, initially I thought it was going to be a mothership rush to be aggressive, but no, it's just, again, used a little bit more defensively instead. I mean, part of it may also be because he did scat the Ling Hydra. That is true with the Oracles, if you recall. So Shameless just did decide to go for a more defensive start, and very successful as a result. Results are dealt with. Wayne, he still has not droned up in like, what, 3 minutes? He has not been droning. They do hit the fourth. Shameless keeping up. He has how many? High Templar? 5. Getting to double immortal production behind this. Wayne, he's still not droning. He's still not transitioning. Still not teching. It's just still just pure Ling Hydra. Oh, going for the High Templar. There's the first Storm. Gets one High Templar. Forces out an Archon as well. So very nice pickups here by Wayne. Basically catching out 3 High Templar. Wayne is being forced back. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal slow zone on the Hydras. There's no escaping this. Not like this. And I do worry for Wayne just because he's being outscaled. Now finally, after what, like 5 minutes, Wayne, now he's droning, and now he throws down Infestation, but this is so late. It's so incredibly late here for Wayne. He's not set up for a longer game. He was all in, essentially. It was just a, what, 3.5 base all in. The Zealots, they hit the southern base. They're going for the expansion. Wayne, he does snipe the fourth for a second time, but at the same time, he will also lose the base himself. There's a recall. There's a recall back to the mothership. Not a base recall, interesting. But true, there is a second recall available. True. Wayne now starts up a 12-minute Hive, 12-minute Lurker Den. He's on 4 bases. Again, not the best saturation yet. Wayne is getting there. As Wayne, he needs time. Right now, he just needs to buy time here to get into his own Lurker tech, to get into his Spellcasters, Vipers, Infestors. Shameless, he's not going into Skytoss. At this point, I would say that he has the opportunity to. He could throw down like a second Stargate and go into Carriers or Tempest. That is a viable option here for Shameless, but instead he's committing to a ground army instead. And he's going to be the first to max. Like you can see here, this is just a reason as to, or I should say this is the outcome of the failed all-in, is that Shameless is already at 200 supply. He's up 40 supply compared to the Zerg, which is crazy in this matchup. Often never seen. Usually it's a Zerg up in supply to make up for their otherwise inefficient army. Like Shameless has a massive lead. Now, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Wayne, because Wayne, he's slowly catching up, right? He's catching up when it comes to the quality of the army, when it comes to lurkers, when it comes to +2, when it comes to lurker range, all the tech. So Wayne, he desperately needs more time. Meanwhile, Shameless should be pushing. Remember, Shameless still has the base recall. Like, he has not been spending his recall, so recall is available if he needs to. He can be more active, and he needs to be to punish Wayne. As he's pushing onto creep, catching out some of the lurkers. How many lurkers are available? There's going to be 11. 11 lurkers here for Wayne. Now we see the second Stargate. There's a late second Stargate for Shameless. Getting into +1 air attack. Now he's rotating. Lurkers are trying to keep up. This is a very robust army, but it cannot push into the concave. Army's forced back. The Zealots, they do hit the right hand side. They take down some of the lurkers. Force Wayne for a Schwand. Tectonic destabilizers on the way. Going for Tempest. Oh. Nice storms. Another zoning storm as well. Shameless pulls back. Denies an expansion. Shameless still achieving quite a lot here with his army. But he has missed the opportunity to kill his opponents. Oof. And brutal fungals. Shameless has to pull away. Tempest production has begun. I still give the edge to Shameless, but Wayne, he's recovering. He's getting back up there, slowly. This is on 5 bases. I believe the Spire is done. Crazy. Never mind. I swear I saw a Spire on the way earlier alongside the Ultra Cavern, but never mind. So no Spire for Wayne, unfortunately. So no access to Corruptors. I swear I saw one earlier in the production tab, but I'm also very sleep deprived, so I could have seen things. But I saw it alongside the Ultra Cavern. Shameless does rotate. Ultra's even in the mix. That Pan is plating. Only +1 carapace though. Ooh. Yeah, the Ultras are very fragile without the carapace upgrades. Ultra's not built for this. Likewise, Wayne, he's been trying to expand, but he just cannot. As Wayne is maxed out. So both armies are maxed, but one army is not quite like the other. I still do favor Shameless's composition as he's getting into more Tempest. Tempest count's still very low though. He's getting there. Get into a Sky Toss. We have Mass Infestor on the way. Remember, Microbial Shroud is a different spell than it used to be. It is a little bit more viable, but at the same time, there's still plenty of storms, so ideally, Wayne, he has to get out of these Hydras. But again, there is no Spire. Shameless, she takes us to the southern base. Just fully walling up. Cannon, shield batteries. It's fully set up here. trying to hold his own. Shamelessly does peel off. Wayne moving in. Sorry, Shameless moving in. We do go for the Neurals actually. Oh my god. Okay, Neurals here on the Archons. Slow zone on the Infestor zone. Mass Storms. Storms, they pop off. Infestors, they do survive. Archons, they hold their ground, but the Neurals are running out. At the same time, Wayne tries to push in towards the left hand side. He takes the Storm to the face. Oh my god, the Storms, they pop off. And Shameless defends. He defends on the left hand side. Likewise, on the right hand side, he breaks on through as well. The Tempest, they reign supreme. And sure, there was Neurals on the Archons and Immortals, but the Tempest, they still pop off. As they take down all the Ultras, they take down the expansion. Wayne, he's knocked down to 4 bases. 4 bases remaining. It's a recall as well to reinforce. Shameless, he's remaxing, making more Tempest. And Wayne is still stuck in making Ultras. Oh god. There's 8 more Ultras in production. I mean, the best chance here that Wayne has is Neural, I guess. He can try to Neural the Tempest. He can try to Neural as much as he can. Not going to be easy, though. Wayne does go for the run by. There is a base recall available. As the Mothership goes down. Massive snipe. Meanwhile, defensive Warpin deals with the Lings. The expansion does fall. Here come the Ultras. Ultras, they commit. Neural's coming in as well. A Storm on the Ultras. Neural on some of the Tempest. God, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, the Storms are brutal. GG gets called. The Tempest, they still overwhelm, and Shameless will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, Shameless just having a much cleaner, I would say, mid-game. As a reminder for those that may be tuning in halfway through, Wayne was all in. Remember, Wayne, he was completely all in with Ling Hydra. Remember, he was stuck on 73 drones on only Ling Hydra for, what, the first 12 minutes of that game? It was crazy how committed he was, and he failed to break Shameless. Shameless, he from there just got ahead. He was able to take a lead, got into Skytos, got into his 4-base economy, into Charge Lots, into Storm, into Immortals, into Archons. Shameless, he did successfully defend very well against the all-in, and Wayne, he was kind of stumbling his way into the late game. That's also why Wayne, he just had a really hard time droning, getting a 5th base, and taking up as well, because it was all just late. It was just late tech, late droning, late saturation. The all-in failed, and GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting ready here for our next matchup. We're getting ready for the final best of 3. The final best of 3 of the evening here. We're going to be jumping into a PvZ between UED Soldier and Nikich. So congratulations to Shameless. Again, a very strong showing here by Shameless. Historically, Wayne, he has had the upper hand on Shameless. So for Shameless to take down Wayne 2-0, very impressive. Especially considering that it wasn't really any kind of cheesy player to Shameless. Shameless, he was the defender more than anything. He was reacting to his opponent. I guess Shameless had some aggressive tendencies on Error Home, but so did Wayne, to be fair. So again, Shameless thriving in a later game, which is also what we saw in the finals back in December, when Wayne, if you recall, in the later games, which was when Shameless thrived. It was in the early game aggression and cheese and all-ins where Wayne popped off. But with that, we have 1 series left. Again, Nikich and UED Soldier. Let's go, jumping to game number 1. UED Soldier, a play that we have yet to feature here tonight. Likewise, Nikich has had a bit of a rougher performance so far and went down to Nicoract, went down to Strange, and we'll see if he can recover against UED Soldier. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the green Protoss player, the green Protoss himself. For CSO Esports, it is UED Soldier. Oh, it's going to be a short one. It's going to be a short one. As spawning in the top right-hand corner, going for the 12 pool, we have the red Zerg player representing Alien Esports from Belarus. It is Nikich. Let's go. Let us go, as we do have Nikich going for the initial 12 pool, droning up, taking his 3rd base, but being hyper aggressive early on, and I was curious if the drone was going to be sent across the map, but no, being kept on his own side. UD Soldier coming with a pylon block. Nikich, he does move out. Yeah, he's going for the proxy hatch. Let's go. So he's going for the hatchery across the map instead. Nikich running up to 14. Overlord pumps, and here come the Lings. Now, UD Soldier is checking for the expansion. He has not gone into the main. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. We have 6 Lings in production. Hatchery is coming in. And he doesn't... Okay, he can block the wall, and he will. Here we go. Does wall off, or does block the wall. Lings are moving. He's still looking. He's still looking for the base, looking for the expansion. Now he knows. Now he knows what's going on. Now he's aware, but this is a late scout, late reaction from UD Soldier. He's trying to re-wall. Zelda's being chronoed. Lings are moving out. And UD Soldier, he confirms lack of gases. Yeah, no gases. Now he realizes, now he has confirmation. This could have been seen earlier, but UD Soldier, he never went into the main. That is on the probe, or the pylon, the Protoss. On UD Soldier. And here we go. Lings are moving in. Lings are moving in. Now, what this hatchery does create is some awkward SimCity here from UD Soldier. It does create more surface area to work with. Lings are getting on top of the gateway. Zealot, I cannot afford to get surrounded. More Lings are coming. Oh, that's speaking of. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. We do kill. I mean, the Zealot gets caught. Zealot is going to go down, but now a second Zealot has arrived. More Lings coming in. It gets us around on the second Zealot. Ay. Both Zealot fall. Now the gateway's under fire. Now, thanks to the Chrono, I believe the Adept should pop out. Gateway takes a lot of damage. Behind this Nikich, he's droning. He's expanding. Hatchery finishes. Okay. I see you. Hatchery does complete. The gateway will fall. But remember, Nikich, he's droning up back at home. At least he's trying to. Oh. Nice setup. As the Lings, they should be cleaned up here. Nice started stepping. Oh my god, catching out the Adept. Ay. One more hit. Oh my god, barely not. Adept does survive. I spoke too soon. Shield battery's on the way, and the Adept, it looks like he will barely get within range. Oh my god. It barely gets within range. The Adept will hold. More Lings trickling in. And, I mean, what kind of game state are we in here? I feel like this is an overextension from Nikich. Like, the initial 12 pull was okay, but the Queen is a bit much. There's a second shield battery. The Adept should never go down. And this Queen, it's gonna fall. Likewise, Adepts, they can't really do much here. Again, this is a big investment by Nikich, especially allowing the hatchery to finish. Queen goes down, Lings are dealt with. UD Soldier, he has a better economy, he has a higher probe count. And Nikich, he has some catching up to do. He's making more Lings again. Oh god. It makes Lings, he cancels. Yeah, very indecisive here from Nikich. I mean, I say indecisive. I mean, I don't think those Lings would have gotten much done. So, unfortunately, just a rough decision. And trying to drone from here, it's going to be awkward and difficult for Nikich. We'll see if he can recover. Meanwhile, UD Soldier, what's he going for? A charge follow-up. This is going to be a very strong charge timing here from UD Soldier. As he has no gases at the natural, just pure mineral income. The gateway kind of still low, but extra gateways are now on the way. Just now getting a second gateway. Should be getting to at least 4, potentially up to 6. Queen is good if you can get creep trimmers down and deny the natural. I mean, it was just, I mean, there was already a natural is the problem. Remember, like there was already an expansion. So yeah, it was just a really rough decision there for Nikich, and it cost him a lot. Back at home, he fully walls off. Lair is on the way. Nikich still trying to resaturate, trying to reestablish himself. To be honest, from here, UD Soldier, he doesn't have to commit. It is a 2-base all-in, by the way. He's got a 5 gateway explosion, getting him to 7 gateways on 2 bases. Ay. If UD Soldier wanted to, he could just take a 3rd, right? You just take a 3rd base, just macro from here. But no, he is committing. Charge is done. Prism is on the way. And we're going for the charge all-in. Let's go. And did I say 7 gates? Getting up to 8 gateways. Jesus. So it's going to be an 8 gate 2 base all in. Pylon does fully wall off to make sure the Ling Runby does not slip by. UED Soldier is locked in more ways than one. And he commits. Now back at home, what is it to defend? Now Nikich has been droning. Remember, his drones have been very late, so he's been stuck re-droning, resaturating. He's lacking upgrades. He's knocking down his own wall. And he is supply blocked. Now is not the time. It's supply blocked. We do need extra warp ins though. UED Soldier knocking down that front door, going for the upgrade. Do you have a re-wall? Yeah, secondary wall behind this. Eva chambers that get thrown down. UED Soldier getting over the wall though. Yeah, it does hop over, goes for a massive warp in. The warp in is not going to be denied. And Nikich is being broken here and now. Again, nice ferrying over here. Juggling his units over the wall. Does get over to the other side. And there's nothing here. There's just nothing left. Voids are being pulled. Another massive warp in. Roach is going to be going down. And UED Soldier, he's just snowballing out of control. He's snowballing out of control. He cannot be stopped. And Nikich, he's broken. The natural is compromised. That's a kill on the Roach Warren and denies Roach speed. And with that, he gets behind the army. I'm loving this juggling here by UED Soldier. He's crazy. Gets over to the other side. The wall means nothing. The choke point means nothing. Boys are being pulled into charge lots. Oh god, it's gonna be a brutal trade. More cells trickling in. I mean, nice drone drilling. I will say that. Nice, very nice drone drilling. Oh my god, crazy. He's holding. He's defending. He does hold on. But for how long is the question? As more zealots trickle in, the army continues. Drones are getting very low on HP. GG, and UED Soldier, he will break through nonetheless, and he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Does take a lead in the series. Again, it all began with the 12 pool, and I wasn't opposed to the initial 12 pool, but Nikich, he did commit quite hard to it. He committed quite hard, and then he pulled away, then he committed again. Like it was again, just a really rough position there for Nikich, as he wasn't quite able to pull off the aggression, but also he wasn't fully committed into like droning up afterwards. Yeah, he was of 2 minds, and in the end, GG. In the end, GG well played. UED Soldier, he survives the all-in. I should say he survives the aggression, he survives the 12 pool, he survives the proxy hatchery, and with that, he snowballed out of control. GG. And now we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala. We have the green Protoss player representing CSO Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is UED Soldier. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Belarus representing Alien Esports. Down in the series, we'll see if he can recover, we'll see if he can bounce back and make it into the playoffs. It is Nikich. We go. This time, he's droning. This time there is no 12 pool. This time, we're calming down, back. We're calming down. Haha. Let's go home. As Nikich does go hatch first. So again, just hatch first opener here by Nikich going hatch gas pool. Standard build, standard play after a bit of a messy game 1 with we're just taking a breath here in game 2. Does anyone know what UED stands for? It's United Earth Defense, right? It's one of those names where in the lore it is aligned with Terran, so it's like Este UED Soldier. What's going on? What's happening? It's like if Hydra was a Protoss player, and Hydra is a Protoss player. Just saying, shaking my head. But UED Soldier, from my understanding, it is a arcade mode. There's like a UED Soldier like arcade game or something, and that's where the name comes from. But in the lore, I believe it's like like a Terran thing. Like a human Terran, like faction, right? The UED. Yeah, okay. United Earth Directorate. There we go, there we go. I was close, I was close. Defense Directorate, same thing. It's like but apparently, like, it is an arcade mode or an arcade map, and that's where he got his name. Still kind of weird because it is Terran aligned, but sure, we'll allow it. We'll allow it. If Hydra can be Protoss, then UED Soldier can be Protoss as well. Everyone's Protoss. It's fine. Hydra, Zerg, at least the Red Hydra Volt. I know. I'm referring to the other Hydra. I'm referring to the High Hydra. Referring to Hydra. True. What's the more obvious one? If Raynor can be Zerg, then UED Soldier can be Protoss. That's maybe another more modern equivalent. God damn it. For those who don't know, Raynor, the Italian Zerg player, his name is spelled with an E because he didn't know how to spell Raynor, like Jim Raynor. Like, it was meant to be Jim Raynor's name, but did misspell it, and he just stuck with it. There you go. There you go. For those that are unaware. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. He made the name when he was young. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Don't need to know how to spell to play StarCraft. Kappa. Jeez, we're popping off, by the way. I was a little bit distracted. We do have a Twilight Council opener here out of UED Soldier going into Glaive Adepts. Not just Glaives into DTs. Dark Shrine also on the way. Very committed, very dedicated here on 2 bases. Now, Nikich checking his vision. He didn't get into the main base, but he does see all the Adepts, so he's getting ready here with his Roach production. Thankfully, we do have a safety spore here at the Natural. The thing about this kind of opener and seeing this build, you don't know if there's DTs or not. So we do have a safety spore, at least at the Natural, but the 3rd base is exposed. And so is the main. Only 1 spore. So there's still potential for Dark Templar. They can still get damage done, whether it's in the main base or at the Natural, or at the 3rd location. Adepts, they move in. Oh. Taking down some of the roaches. At the same time, Prism into the main. Adepts, their shade is denied. So far, so good. Dark Shrine finishing up, going for the DTs into the main base, but the Spore's in position. The Spore just has to be ready. At the same time, though, the Spore's going to be targeted down. Can he get the Spore? Oh, can he get it? Oh, he can. Just barely. The Spore does fall. The DTs, they survive. And now they're going for the mineral line. Alas, there is no backup Spore. Does hug the Spore. Going for the base instead. Adepts, they do wreak havoc at the 3rd. No shot. Can he kill the base in time? He can't. Jesus. Oh, my God. He kills the base before the Spore finishes. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Despite the transfuse, the hatchery goes down. He saves the Dark Templar. Adepts are in the Natural. They're wreaking havoc. No saturation, no droning, no income, no nothing. There's nothing here. He's long distance mining. Oh no. And he's not happy with 1 base. He's gonna get the other as well. The 2nd hatchery goes down. And Nikich is down to 1 base. He's down to a 1 base, barely a 1 base economy here. Nikich, he's all in. It's all or nothing. Oh no. Yo, the power of 3, it wasn't even 4 DTs by the way, it was 3 Dark Templar. Crazy. Your DPS was insane. Oh god. And Nikich, he's in a rough position. Things are looking dire here for our Zerg player. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, sure, he delays a would-be 3rd, but it doesn't matter. UED Soldier, he's building up Immortals, safety shield batteries, getting ready for an all-in that isn't coming. Nikich, he's double expanding, he's trying to rebuild, trying to resaturate. Hoping to at least. But honestly, UED Soldier, he has options. If he wanted to, he could just expand, to be honest. He could just expand, get a 3rd base, and just chill. Just chill in 3 bases, and just macro up. He doesn't have to go for a push. Like, the best chance for Nikich to survive in this game is for UED Soldier to overextend. As Nikich knocks down those rocks. Oof. Archon drop comes in. UED Soldier does expand. And again, there's just nothing pressuring UED Soldier. He doesn't have to commit. You just chill. Just get some snacks. Kick up his feet. And settle in. As he's just building up a higher and higher immortal count. More gateways on the way. One base in a dream. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. I mean, okay, so there's a chance. There's a world where if this prism goes down to Biles, if UD Soldier misrallies, if he moves out with some stray immortals, if he pushes prematurely, like there are ways here. Basically, Nikich is waiting for a mistake. Speaking of, oh, there was not a wall. Lings they fought in. Okay. Yeah. Hero! Not like this. Lings they bust into the natural. Likewise, they bust into the main as well. Probe's going to be going down, and this is a strong moment here for Nikich. What does he get done though? Probes are falling in the main, getting 4 probes so far. Not bad. Getting up to 4. Getting us around on the adepts, getting up to 5. UD Soldier, he's racing back into the main, is getting choked up. At the same time, we do see Roach Ravager towards a 3rd. UD Soldier out of position. He's being dragged out of position here. Can he knock down that 3rd? Can he knock down the expansion? Alas, denying mining. Going for the Nexus. Again, UD Soldier completely out of position. But now just going for the mineral line, getting secure damage, getting 12 probe kills. But does pull away. Nikich, he doesn't risk it. I do think he could have tried to have killed the expansion, but he gets the hell out of here. I mean, he doesn't have roach speed. True. He has no roach speed, so if he was forced to fight, there was no escape. Oh, no. Oh, he's back. The Dark Templar has returned. Get out of here. You're an animal. Okay, this time we have a spore, thankfully. This time we have a spore crawler. And that was good damage, and suddenly UD Soldier, he has no economy. He has no economy at the 3rd base. He's down to 40 workers. He is going for his own 2-base all-in. The terrifying thing, though, here is that the army is terrifying. The army is massive for UD Soldier. Yes, there is a lot of Roach Ravager, but we have Immortals. We have Sentries. We have Force Fields. The base is going to go down. Expansion goes down. It gets just in 2 volleys. Nikich the supply blocked. Brutal Force Fields locking down the Queens. And there's so many more force shields that came from. So many sentries. Biles, they graze the army. No major losses. Oh! Sentries, 1 sentry goes down. Just the 1. Yeah, the army just gets sliced up. The army is sliced up. The Immortals just have their way with this Roach army. More reinforcements on the way. Warping in more adepts. And Nikich's army is just being torn apart. He's only fighting 1 portion at a time thanks to the force shields. The force shields, they're brutal. Oh my god. They've stowed away most of the army. And UD Soldier, he's done it. He's snowballing out of control. GG gets called. UD Soldier, he will take the series 2-0, taking down Nikich and advancing on into the playoffs. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Very impressive play there by UD Soldier. Nikich, unfortunately, he was torn apart here. It was a brutal DT follow-up. As we mentioned, it's hard to determine whether or not there are Dark Templar. What I will say is that Nikich, he did have the tools to defend. If you remember, I believe he repositioned his Spore, right? He had a Spore ready in the main, and he unborrowed and repositioned it. As a result, the first Spore went down in the main, and that was the death sentence for the expansion, for the hatchery. Like, remember, he had 2 spores. He had 1 in the main, 1 in the natural. He uprooted, he unburrowed, and that was the death of the spore. That was the death of the spore, death of the main base. With that, the 3rd base also went down. Nikich was torn apart. With those 2 bases falling, that was game then and there. We saw that Nikich, he had some nice moments afterwards where he was able to go for some Ling run buys and pull his opponent apart, and he forced an all-in. True, did force an all-in, but again, UD Soldier, he was far enough ahead where it didn't matter, right? Like, he had just a terrifying army, just a massive amount of Immortals and Sentries. GG. GG, well played. Likewise, there was also a very shaky game in game 1 with the 12 pool. We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about the 12 pool. Regardless, GG, well played. UD Soldier, he will claim the series, and with that, we have our qualified players for the playoffs. Let's go. GG, well played. Now, when it comes to the playoffs, actually, I can show this off a little bit here. Oh, we didn't get to cast him. We missed out on some of these matches. It's all good, it's all good. Let's switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Here we go. Bam. Okay, from the top. So these are the results here of the group stage. So again, we have 16 players, I believe. Yeah, 16 players in total. We were able to feature at least some of the matches from the group stage, from the rounds, and we have our final lineup here. Oh my god. Okay, so from the top we have GG Machine. He took down Proto Xaver, Strange, and Young Yakov. Very strong performance here by GG Machine. We weren't able to cover any of these matches, so I'm a little bit shocked, a little bit surprised, but very well done here. GG Machine, of course, he is last month's third placing player. He came third place to Wayne and Strange in Fire Group Cup number 8. And of course, GG Machine, he's a very young player, very young. I think he's like 15 years old. Very young player, has a lot of potential, and this is the best performance that he has had in the group stage in a 5 Group Cup. So really well done. Second place was Milky Cow. Milky Cow takes down Replicant 2-0. Wayne 2-1. We did cover that series, and UD Soldier 2-1 as well. So Milky Cow in second place. We then have Shameless. Shameless in third. Shameless took down Def Mars, went down to UD Soldier, took down Art, and took down Wayne. Can I zoom out a little bit? There we go. Took down Wade in the end, which we did cover. We did cover that series versus Wayne. We covered that PVZ. Meanwhile, Young Yakov takes down Sickness Art, went down to G Machine, as we did see earlier here in the upper portion, and took down UD Soldier as well towards the end. So Young Yakov does make it through. Nicoract, he makes it through as well, went down to UD Soldier. He had some good performances here. He took down Shameless, took down Nicoract, and took down Nikich, of course, as well. So Nicoract, he does take down UD, does 4 to UD Soldier, takes down Cygnus, Nikich, and Strange. Nice performance there by Nicoract. Taking down Strange. Again, I was rating Strange very highly. Strange, he barely made it out of the groups. Then comes UD Soldier. Again, had a really strong performance towards the end over Shameless, Nicoract, and Nikich. Very, very strong performance. It went down to Milky Cow and Young Yakov, but again, like, I feel like UD Soldier is more of an underdog nowadays, especially in this group. Like, I rate Strange, I rate Shameless, I rate even Art above UD Soldier, so he had a very, very good showing here in this group. Wayne and Strange. Fun fact, Wayne and Strange, they are the 2 finalists of last month, and they barely made it out of the groups. Very surprising. I was rating them very highly here. I would say they are the strongest Protoss and Zerg players in the CIS region, aside from skills, of course. But despite that, they did struggle here. Going down to Milky Cow, GG Machine, Shameless, Nicoract, like, they did stumble their way through. But regardless, did make it into the playoffs. So we have our top 8 players, and we'll be going over the playoffs in a couple of days. As a reminder, this is a replay cast. We usually cast this event live, but this event was last weekend, and we were at the time casting HSL. That is the Hispanic StarCraft League. So we were busy casting the Hispanic StarCraft League. Unfortunately, we can't cast 2 events at the same time. I would love to, don't get me wrong, but we weren't able to. So we're just catching up here this week with the replays of just now the group stage, and in a couple of days we'll be going over the playoff bracket as well. Let's go. Shout out to Sickness, Nikich, Replicant, Proto Xaver, Art, Def Mars, Gref, and Fallinger for also competing. They did not make it through those groups. When it comes to any upsets, I do rate Nikich and Replicant quite highly, and even Art. Like, Art, he's very hit and miss, I'll be honest. Like, Art, like every month it's like he either shows up and pops off or he struggles. So Art, he's a bit of a wild card. Replicant and Nikich, we've seen them perform very well as well. I want to say Sickness also made it to the playoffs last time, but they barely didn't make it out. But you know, they had their own good results, had their own good showings. GG, well played. As in the end, that is going to be our initial lineup. Shout out to Gref as well. True. Gref was also there. No Night Phoenix, unfortunately. No Night Phoenix. No Rostock either. I know Rostock, he's also competed in this in the past. But with that, GG, well played, as we do wrap up our initial broadcast for the day. For those that are unaware, I mean, I believe it's on our schedule here. Not quite, but we have another cast in a couple of hours. We're going to be live once again here in 4 hours and 20 minutes. So in 4 hours and 20 minutes, we're going to be live with our second cast of the day, with day number 2 of the of the Brazilian StarCraft circuit. Circuito brasileiro. So again, the Brazilian StarCraft circuit is going to be in 4 hours time. You can see it is at 3 AM KST, 4 AM AEST. And I'm gonna go get some sleep. I'm gonna try to nap for like a couple of hours, Like 2 to 3 hours is the goal, to sleep for 2 to 3 hours, and then we'll be back and we'll do it all over again. Let's go, baby, let's go. For those that are curious, there is an offline event happening in Brazil. There is an offline event happening in June. It's still in June, and in the lead up to the offline event, it's happening in Sao Paulo, by the way, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Let's go. Is happening over in June, but in the lead up to that, we have the group stage. We have group stage 1, which we covered day 1 of yesterday, and we're covering day 2 today, which is going to be group C and D. It's going to be a live broadcast, of course. Today we're going to be using a clean feed as well, so won't have as much of a delay as we did yesterday. So we'll be casting from a clean feed. Again, that's going to be in 4.5 hours, so I'm going to try to get as much sleep as I can, and hopefully I don't sleep in. I haven't done so before, but I am a little bit anxious always whenever I sleep so close to the cast, so I'll set all my alarms, and hopefully I don't sleep in. Hopefully it's all good and we're able to wake up in time and jump into our next broadcast. Let's go, let's go. Hi. So just catching up with the chat. Went behind Dark Shrine, went even Dark Shrine, went ahead Dark Shrine, anytime Dark Shrine, Bobby, anytime. Let's go. Hero teach every protoss in the circuit, or what? Yes, he has taught everyone some bad tendencies, habits. There we go, bad habits. Oh no. But yes, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Again, we're going to be able to wrap up this tournament in a couple of days. Just double checking, our next broadcast for Firegrow Cup is going to be on Saturday. So Saturday is going to be the playoffs. Meanwhile, we're back again in 4.5 hours. Sorry, 4 hours and 20 minutes. 4 hours and 20 minutes. Again, I'm going to try to sleep for a couple of hours. So we'll see you guys later on tonight for some more StarCraft action, for some Brazilian StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoy the casting, if you enjoyed the stream, the channel, the content, then consider following us. Consider following us on all the social medias. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. We do stream and cast on a regular basis here. As you can see, we cast twice a day, every single day. And as I mentioned, because we can't cast everything, we're overbooked. If we could cast even more, but we're at capacity, and there's just even more StarCraft going on. And it's hard to catch up. It's hard to keep up with all the content because we're live so often. So if you can't watch everything live, check us out on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube instead. Socials. There we go. Check us out on YouTube, as we do upload onto YouTube on a daily basis, so there's plenty of content on YouTube. And if you want to help support us, Patreon is the place to be. Our Patreon does fund our regular events, our monthlies and our weeklies. So if you want to help support the players and StarCraft, you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Need a B stream where Kuro casts. I mean, very often Kuro is also working as well. I should emphasize that. Like, usually when one of us isn't casting, we're working on other things, working on socials, on graphics, on VODs, like non-stop StarCraft, basically. Like, whenever I'm not casting, I'm also just editing VODs and working on VODs as well. So usually we're just working in a different capacity. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys later on tonight or tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. Until then, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.